Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Terezi E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, booze, and bullshit. Ooh. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer mentions his time on the West Coast, or if for some reason you think his name is Justin, you drink. And if I swear or say here's the thing, you drink. Also, of course, you can make any of us shut the fuck up for 5 minutes by donating $5. Or you can make all of us drink with a tip of $1.08. Speaking of drinking, fellas, I want to know, what are you drinking? Beef Loaf, what are you drinking tonight, buddy?
Baby, we are back, and we're out of beer season now because the White Sox season is over. But of course, I'm sticking to my old trusty little red wine. Now, I must us, we're changing up the chaser here. Just ice water for the chaser, right? We got to get healthier. It's 108 weight loss season, so we're just sticking with a strict ice water chaser.
Hydration is key.
Hydration
is key.
Absolutely.
I love it. I like, Beef. I think me and you are both into this vibe of like when you're trying to lose weight, you stick to just a few different liquids.
Yep.
Right. I mean, like, so it's coffee, wine, water, and then I'll get to what I'm drinking. But My Sock Summer, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight, I started off with a Weller Special Reserve from our guy Dougie Freshness. He gave me a taster bottle. It was like 114%. I was really riled up. The wife's out of town, so I've been rocking the dad solo stuff. I don't want to, do too much because I know Loaf will tell me that I'm just doing regular dad shit. Yeah, I was like getting a little worked up, so I was like, you know what I should do? I should drink something that's 114 proof. So I did that really quick.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
And now I'm drinking the Four Roses single barrel, which is 100 proof. And then I'm going to finish off this huge bottle of bourbon rye, bullet rye, because it's just too big of a bottle to have like a swallow. So I'm going to get rid of that. And then if I'm done with that, I'm going to go to the High West.
Oh, my God.
It's a rye night, my friend.
Why? Why all the bottles?
Beef, you got to pull back up Matt Ramsey's comment because I was cracking up when you showed it.
Right there.
Justin, known cockwipes guy.
I mean, should I get into that now? I mean,
No. Don't
let's
get
hold
into
it.
What are you drinking, Terezi?
I just wanted to show it. So, Beef, something that we also drink during these times of weight loss is tequila.
A lot of it, yep.
And I was like, man, I'd like to do like a NorCal margarita while I'm sitting here. But those are tough to make while you're sitting here.
You got to have them pre-made because you're not going to be able to mix all that shit right now.
I had a better idea. So I have one of these. I don't know if you have one of these, Beef. It's an infuser. So you put stuff in the metal part down here.
Okay.
And it's like a grate, and then it infuses into the liquor. So this is tequila, but in this thing there's limes. So I just put a bunch of limes in there, and it's just infusing that. So it's just tequila, and then I got a soda stream too. So I got a little bit of club soda, man. That's all. Nice. That's all I'm going, and ice, obviously.
But no shrimp milk, as Billy Wire says. No shrimp milk in there.
So shrimp cereal, I think he's talking about a delicious delicacy. But shrimp are calorie heavy, so I'm out on them right now.
Yeah,
so we'll see what we get into. It is seafood. It's a little lighter than most stuff, but it's still a lot.
A little bit rich. Stephanie, welcome. Stephanie says here because Singer Sox sent me. Yeah, I appreciate Singer Sox sending people over to the podcast. Hope you enjoy it.
I think they might be related, like in the biblical sense. Those two. I think those are. I think that's who.
I don't think there's being related in the biblical sense is any different than just being related.
Listen, I just want to make shit up. Okay, I'm gonna make shit up, and you should just go with it. Okay, tonight because you already know I'm fired up. So let's not.
White Sox Sal says infuser equals a bottle. Not quite so. I know you're trying. White Sox Sal's already trying too hard in the comments.
He's close. He's close.
Oh, I love it.
His comments blow.
It's a bottle plus.
Man,
He's got to get better. I'm sorry. We took a week off, and it was like he took a week off, and now he's rusty. We got to make sure we get him back in the flow here. He's usually one of the best commenters.
Beef, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Because he's making fun of me.
You know, it's good. I'm good, Treasy. I'm happy that 108 weight loss is starting. I've been holding a thought on Brett Favre for like 3 weeks because we had podcasts and couldn't really do it. We did an after show, all the shit. So if you guys haven't heard, and I'll just give you the cliff notes. Everyone's probably read it, but Brett Favre is in all kinds of trouble because he's working to steal welfare money and repurposing and putting some in his pocket, and he's kind of skirting the law to get public funds basically and put it in his pocket. What I like about Brett Favre is that anytime he does something where he gets in trouble, the thought is always like, he's too stupid to know what he's doing. Like, I would love to have that as my excuse. I'm too stupid, so I just fucking get away with everything. But when I started going down the rabbit hole a little bit, and I remembered, back towards the end of his playing career when he was with the Jets, he sent dick pics to Jen Sturger, right? And like, this wasn't that big of a deal at the time. It's like, it was like a whatever. But I put two and two together, and I get you guys' opinion here. You know, Brett Favre acting out like this. Do you think that the reason he acts out like this is because he's got a mediocre penis? I mean, for a top professional athlete, his penis is embarrassing. That's like an insurance salesman penis. Like, he's not out there like Antonio. You saw Antonio Brown. I'm sure you saw it. That's a top pro athlete penis right there. Okay.
Yeah.
And Favre is just he has a regular cock. And you think it's like that's part of the reason why he acts out, Treasy?
Do you think it's like Kit Ramsey in Bowfinger? When he's got something in his head that says he's got to show it to the Laker girls, and then when he does, he's like, "Don't laugh, it's not funny."
That's right. When it's out there, it's like, "Oh shit."
I mean,
yeah, maybe beef, maybe this is all a reaction to like something happened in the locker room that just set him off.
There's no way that was the first and only time Brett Favre has ever done that. Like, he's done that probably a million times and got called out on it one.
Steal $8 million from Mississippi government or the dick pic?
Probably both. But mostly
true.
the dick pic. I bet he just sent dick pics to people all the time. I mean, like, listen, if you're gonna go hogging, there's only one place to go hogging, and it's Green Bay. And I bet Brett Favre playing through a shitload of hogs when he was in Green Bay because that's unbelievable. Like, I mean, that's all he probably had to do. He might have like, you could wear my jersey, and they probably would have betted him. So, I mean, it was fine.
There we go. Sal's back.
Sal's back, little dick energy. There we go. Senor Sock says, fuck this, whip it out, MSS, show him. So he wants to see your BWC and to just confirm it is larger than Brett Favre's. MSS would be capable of stealing $8 million, but it would be in increments of Beanie Babies, so it would take like 10,000 years.
Cheers.
Cheers, Jump. Appreciate the drink.
I always play with my balls.
The comment is amazing, too.
He was asking that earlier, too, on the internet. Is MSS going to play with his balls? I didn't know what he meant.
I didn't even see it.
But I guess he is. MSS.
I have to.
Balls.
I didn't realize what he meant either. But the way it's written, I just thought that he saw him digging down deep. Like
no, not yet. That's
heard us talking to Brett Favre. He put on his Wrangler open fly jeans and
he got into the corner pocket there, man.
That's mid-show. I'm mid-show form for like whipping my balls out. I started tugging on the balls. But if people are asking to see the BWC, like I got to make sure that it's a little bit fluffed. You got to fluff a little bit.
Oh yeah, I agree with this. You are not going completely flaccid.
Right?
No. You got a little, a little chubbed up, little semi. K-Dog says MSS definitely has a compilation DVD of Favre cock. I agree. I agree with that. If he had it though, it would be so rare he would sell it. I think
it's a VHS. It's a VHS. It's actually it's from the Falcons days. You can only find these things on eBay.
Favre's a rookie in 1992, I think. You're kind of, I guess there is still VHS back then. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Yeah. I thought I was off a little bit. That's fine.
Jesus. When did they stop making VHS? Like 6 months ago?
I think they probably still make some stuff.
Probably still make it, yeah.
It's interesting.
All right. Brian, cheers.
Brian, appreciate it. Brian was on the treadmill today shirtless to kick off 108 weight loss. I loved it.
There's a lot of pops. I say that, and I'm not even judging. Because if you
are you casing his house? Are you casing Brian's house because you saw all the pops in the background?
If you were to look to my left, there's like 200 bobbleheads over there. So like I understand it, Brian. Like no big whoop.
A lot of toys, huh?
My Sock Summer, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. I wanted to. I took the day today, and I went up and I picked up these bad boys, the Saturday nights
Oh,
for
my
the
God.
wives. This is
awesome.
this is the tech hoodie, the performance hoodie. And I'd shot our guy Ryan, who's best known as the lead screen printer of Fourth Shift Printing, but he's also in a band called Off With Their Heads, which is playing with Smoking Popes pretty soon. So you should go see that. I'm probably gonna go. I'm hoping. And I texted him. I go, yo, can I come up, on Tuesday and pick up the Saturday night shirts? He goes, dude, if you want to wait a day, I'll get all those other shirts done. So, folks, we have this already ready to go.
Oh, yes.
So,
baby.
I got family in town this weekend, so I don't know if I'll be able to ship them all out, but I'm going to try. So we will get these shipped out to you. So if you were like, oh my God, I'm probably not going to get this by the time my Halloween party is on, wrong. You're probably going to get it next week. So enjoy. Thanks, Ryan. If you need a printed shirt, go ahead and go up to Fourth Shift Printing. They're awesome. But don't give them too much work because I want them available when I need my work done. I need it done fast. Now, I've seen a lot of people started getting into the Jeffrey Dahmer drama series on Netflix.
It's not documentary.
It's not a documentary. And
I started watching it last night, MSS. You and I, we leave the ballpark in the afternoon, the Sox final game, come home, start eating some dinner. The missus and I are like, let's start it up. And we watched 3 episodes last night.
It's good. Now, here's what I don't like. And I your boy, I am a big guy that I love true crime. I love all that stuff. I love documentaries, which is not a documentary. But I watched it probably within 4 or 5 days. I have not publicly commented on this because I felt weird after I finished it because I had just a hint of feeling sorry for Jeffrey Dahmer. And I was like, whoa, I can't feel sorry for this guy.
No, you can't.
So this is my problem with that whole show. People are going to be like, oh my God, this poor guy. Because they kind of gloss over all the really bad shit. Like you don't see it.
It's pretty
right.
bad. What I've seen so far, pretty bad.
But he did stuff that's even more horrendous. Okay, like even more horrendous.
I know where this is going.
So, no, I'm not going there. I'm not even going to defend my position.
We're going there because you
guys
said this in the past. We're definitely going there. You're not getting.
No. Wait. Let him dig a hole.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna get out of the way.
I'm just saying I had seen, I told both this morning, I saw one of the women who testified in court, the one that went crazy and starts yelling at him. It's very famous. Did I go out? Did I go out?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay, good.
All
right. Because I keep blanking up here and I want to make sure. So she's freaking out. Her nephew posting was like, every time this comes back around in a different form, it just causes more and more grief to my family. And we're tired of this. Please stop putting this out. And that was the first time I've ever been like, oh my God, what I'm fucking doing is, watching this shit is probably it's not beneficial, right, to the victims. And I get it. And I felt really bad. So that's why I just haven't really talked about it. I thought it was good. But I also wasn't like.
So now we're going to get into it.
All right, go ahead.
Get into it. Yeah.
Because how could you have these feelings? But the last time we talked about this, you were absolutely pro cannibal.
No.
Oh yeah, he said the eating of the people is not that bad.
It's not that bad. You said that.
What I said, and this is, you can take it in whatever context you want. But what I said is, compared to all the other things that he did with these people when they were alive and before they died.
Okay.
The eating of the parts after the dude was dead or the person was dead, I think was lower on the chain than the drilling in the back of their head, trying to make them a zombie, like sexually assaulting them while they're drugged up. That kind of shit to me, it was like, this is bad. This is like worse than the guy's dead. I'm going to fry up his kidney.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's my problem with what you're trying to tell us right now.
Go ahead.
Because you're all talking about, you're worried about the families and stuff. And the families are the ones that are like, hey, I wanted to bury my son, but this motherfucker ate him. So I can't bury my son. So,
right. Yeah. So yes.
You're taking away that closure by saying that Dahmer should have eaten them. You're so excited for him to eat them and you're ruining it for everybody.
let's talk about how you embalm a body, Chirizi. You take out a lot of the vital organs. The vital organs go away. They do not get buried with the body.
They become food for other people. Is what I'm
not saying that it makes.
Are you trying to tell me?
Wait, are you trying to tell me that funeral home directors eat all the organs?
They got low grocery bills because they're able to eat all the organs that are left over. Trees. Everyone knows this. Apparently, not you though. You know.
No, I'm just saying. I understand it. I know it's a big concept to grasp. You're the smart one. But, I mean, it's a big concept to grasp. But out of all the bad things that he did, I don't put eating the parts of the dead body on top of the list. Like,
okay, so let's
let's
level set here. He roofied people, right?
He did.
What's worse, roofie or eat their flesh?
Oh, roofing is definitely the worst. Well, roofing to go and to have sex with them. Right? To like lure them into his house and fuck them. Yeah, that's much worse.
See, I knew I was going to get him on that one, Treasy.
Yeah.
I knew that was definitely
both terrible, but you would technically live through one.
One of them you'd be alive.
No, the roofie part is probably less worse than eating the body.
Probably.
The stuff
Not 100% sure, but probably.
Wait a second. Hold on. If you found out that like there was a guy out there eating people, and I told you, but look, he never roofied any of them, you'd be like, oh, okay, well then that's not.
No. But that's not what we're talking about.
Lil Yumper's right. He MSS's secret last year to winning the weight loss competition being a cannibal.
Watching disgusting shit and not wanting to eat. No, I think that this is a very specific topic for a very specific person. We can't just say like, oh, roofing, and then what about drilling the back of a guy's head and making him a zombie?
That's not good. No, that's
way
pretty
worse
bad.
than eating a dead person's kidney. I'm sorry, it is.
I'm going to agree with you on that.
I'll give you that one. I'll put that.
That's
okay, well, check mark there. The comments
are
out of control right now. I can't keep up with them.
When he beat them or strangled them and killed them, that's worse than eating the dead guy's kidney. That's all I was trying to say.
It's still very, very bad to have done that. Look at it and go, yum. Like that's.
I didn't say that. Oh, him say that.
No, I'm not saying you said yum. I'm saying he did after he did all that, and you're saying I see his point.
Cannibal marinara.
No. I don't see his point. I'm saying everything is bad. I'm telling you where the varying degrees of badness are. And I just wasn't. You were very like, well, and he ate the people, and I was like, yeah, but that wasn't the worst. And you're like, you're just not the worst. And then it's like, no, it wasn't. The other things were way worse than the eating of the body.
Extremely bad.
It's still bad. I didn't say it was right. I'm just saying it's just bad. It's just not as bad as the drilling and the making him a zombie and then the killing. You know, the killing and the raping was like pretty bad.
Yeah, no, those are bad. I would agree with that. There's no question about it.
All bad.
Beer Garden Jim asked this question. I need MSS's verdict here. After you watch the show, what's more disturbing, the White Sox season or Dahmer?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Dahmer just because nobody died during the White Sox season. Tony almost died.
Did not
die.
That we know of.
Jim, you could take solace in the fact though that if you would have been eaten during the White Sox season, it still would have been Dahmer.
No problem.
Chirizi, how are you doing?
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, of course you are.
Now, do we have to mute MSS because
we
no,
do?
He gave me $5.
Sal did it.
Yeah,
$5. He gave me $5 though. I thought it was $50.
No, it's 50 to mute us two and let you talk.
Yeah,
it's $5 to mute any one of us.
The opposite is 50. So good luck.
I thought we stopped this shit.
No, we just started.
Says, the BWC is MSS's vital organ. That's true. He doesn't mind that getting eaten.
So to answer my Sox Summer's non-cannibal related question, I'm doing pretty good. We were just at Beef. We were just in San Diego this past weekend.
A lot of fun.
And I had a quick trip. I flew out Friday night with Aloha Mr. Hand, and then we got there. I went straight to the bar as you do. I had a couple zombies. It's funny we're talking about zombies. I had a couple zombies when I got there. Didn't eat anybody, and then went to the game the next day. And before the game, we met up with just a ton of White Sox fans, which was awesome. Yeah. I was surprised how many people came out. I was surprised some of the people I met. I didn't even think I didn't even know some of the people were going to be there. Right. Like, so obviously my buddy Tony C was out there. It was great to see him. And I saw Scott Garcia, who asked me an on the spot horniness meter question.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, it was a Star Wars related horniness meter question. Okay. I won't repeat it because it's too horny for this. Maybe for my other show. But Willie P was awesome. That guy is fantastic. We met Francisco Barrios Burner out there.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, nice
and then
guy.
like in a few like things happened at the bar that I thought were kind of funny. So a guy who I won't name because I don't want to drag anybody. They left their debit card at the bar, but they came back. But like they walked over to the game, they came back, and they got their debit card, and they were like, "Oh shit, might as well have another beer with you guys." Like, all right. But
fuck this game. I'm gonna have another beer at this bar.
But a different one, and Beef, you'll love this. I don't think I told you about this. So, Sox Chick was there, and so she came over. She's like, "I want to get a picture with everybody." And so we did the big picture with her. And I'm standing next to this guy who I thought was with everybody else there. Like I thought he was just with the whole group, but apparently wasn't. Didn't know shit about what was going on. It was him and his buddy were just standing there, and his buddy was in the bathroom. So he just got in the picture, and he's like in the picture. He's like waving and smiling and everything. And then as the picture is taken and everything, and he stops for a second, like there was a moment of self-realization, and he like turns to us and he's like, "Wait, what's this for?" And like we told him what the 108 was, and that was Sox Chick, and we're just taking a picture of a bunch of Sox fans. And his response was, "Oh, okay. I just don't want to end up on some cuck porn site."
You should have thought, well, no guarantees. I'm sorry. Could happen. Who knows?
And I told him, I hope you don't mind. I took a couple pictures of your feet, which was off-putting to him at first until he realized I was joking and that I had stopped massaging his shoulder after I'd said it. But yeah, I was like, I just liked that. Like this guy was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get in this picture," and then he all of the worst shit that he ever heard on the internet came to him in a flash. Like, "Ooh, I might be a part of that now. I need to find out that I am not." As if we were doing that and we were going to fuck with this guy on the internet, and we just straight out told him, like, "Oh, by the way, we're going to put you on a cook porn site.
You'll be the cardboard cutout for it."
Very, very popular. Very popular.
Tasteful and artistic. Don't worry. We won't objectify you. No way, no how. Luis in the comments says Senior Sox is my hero. You might want to shoot a little higher. I apologize there. Yeah, San Diego was great. I mean, Tracy, so we go to that pub where the meetup was. Now, we had Bonita Steaky with us, Mrs. Beef and I. So this bar was a real pain in the ass about not only the wristband, which is fine. I mean, I'm not going to give my 12-year-old booze the wristband, but also she's got to stay at the table. You cannot walk around, can't do anything. So it kind of felt bad. Mrs. Beef's like, "Go ahead, go socialize." She's like, I'll stay with Bonita. I'm like, "No, I'll stay with her." So we wait together, whatever. And people started coming up because they see us in the back and they come and talk and whatever. And so like 3, 4, 5 people come up, and the server comes over, and she comes over to me and she says, "Are you some sort of celebrity? Why do people keep coming up to your table?" And so I answered. I took a pause. I took a beat. I answered. I said, "In a very small circle, yes, I am a celebrity." And she's laughing or whatever, walks away. The second she walks away, Bonita looks at me. She goes, "Dad, that was the most mid answer anyone could have ever given." And I felt so empowered by my dadness, by doing it exactly the way I did. Because I thought about saying, "Oh, no, just, we're meeting up to get together." But I said, "You know what, fuck it. I'm gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna mess with the server." And I got the response out of my daughter I thought I would get.
MSS, I'm so glad that you timed out right there, because we got to talk about Pompous Loaf over here.
Oh my Lord.
Pompous Loaf, his head has never been bigger.
It's actually, I think Bonita was right. That was a little mid. Like I think I would have expected for him to say, "Yes, I have a Sox match champion. I've been on TV. My nipples have been on TV like 6 times. Like, I have a top-rated podcast in New Zealand.
The top minority White Sox podcast.
Top minority rated White Sox.
MSS, imagine
2 Mexicans and a Puerto Rican.
Imagine if, when this question was being asked, the guy that I was talking to was walking by their table and Beef said, "Yeah, I'm topless on the internet all the time."
Yeah.
That guy would have just ran out of there.
Mad at you.
He would have like
He'd been like,
he would have bought one of those services to like erase your identity from the internet. Like he would have been terrified.
Billy's got this wrong. The do you know who I am loaf? That's not me. Treasy's the do you know who I am guy out of our group. 100%.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
no, you are. I think I beat him on that.
You get more upset if people don't recognize. I guess it is you then, MSS.
I don't want you to know who I am.
Yeah, you're pretty quiet.
People will be taking pictures with you, Beef, and I'll just look the other way. I'll just
it's like I don't want anything to do with this.
I'm doing something over here. I was over here doing something very important.
I get very upset when people come down and they go, "Oh, hey, 108," and then they just say hi to you guys and then don't say shit to me, and I'm like, "Hey, right here, whatever, just no big deal. You don't gotta say hi to me."
Yeah,
you know what it is? You're a loner. You sit 2 rows in front of us. You want the up front seat.
Well,
you fancy.
I try to sit in row 12 all the time, but goddamn Slump Buster and Biggins, they still got those seats for 20 games a year.
Shoving you out of there, huh?
Get there. They won't sell me the other 61. I don't understand why, but hey, soon enough we'll be able to do that because it's gonna go right in the shitter. So, it's gonna be fun. I'll be right up there.
Barstool Carl definitely knows who Justin is. I agree. And then Brian
we
says
should talk about that.
Treasy was making his bones when guys were banging cheerleaders. I agree with both of those right there.
I'm kind of upset.
That's actually pretty accurate.
I'm kind of upset that there's some guy named Justin that looks like me that's stealing Roman swipes from the Barstool office. Used my name or my Sox summer name and walked right in there and stole a bunch of shit. Apparently, he's texting Dave at 2 a.m. with a hard penis. This is amazing.
I truthfully, when he said that, when he did that little sort of ad-libbed ad read about you saying that you called him up and said how good it worked. I want Soxwood to paint a mural of MSS holding the BWC and his phone in the other hand, texting White Sox Dave about this. I want this in full color. I want this made.
I hate that he said it was a text. He should have said it was a FaceTime. That would have been way better. Just like a sweaty MSS.
Look at this.
This was amazing. I'm calling my doctor next though because it's been 4 hours.
Honestly, one of the only things I didn't get when I was walking out of there was Roman swipes. I got everything else. I did not get any Roman swipes though. They must not give those away to everybody.
I like that every podcast now they bring up how you trashed their office and stole all the merch. You made quite an impression. I love that.
I ravished it, is what they
One last thing about our banter, because I want to shit on Treasy a little bit. 2 nights ago, Tuesday night, the last game that Treasy was at, MSS, we pissed off Treasy because his bandmates were there, and he went and sat with his bandmates, and we were sitting up there.
You did.
And I told him, I said, hey, Treasy's up there hanging out with his less popular band.
I didn't even hear you say that.
You didn't hear me say that? You should turn around and you looked mad, and MSS was like, yeah, you got him there.
I thought you said that I was just hanging out with my band. I didn't hear that you said less popular.
No, I was busting your chops. I'm upset he didn't hear it. MSS. I thought the way he reacted, I thought he heard it. He was like, "Oh, fuck you guys."
I was like, "Oh, I'm getting a little thirsty," and your brother's like, "Hey,
see, that's
you guys want one?" It's like, "Yeah, it's been 25 minutes, bro. Come on."
MSS. That's
the game of the year.
That's what I thought was happening. That's what I thought. I thought he was just complaining about wanting a drink.
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't. I was. It was
right. I know you were. You're always complaining about that. The one one game a week that you drink beer.
That's true. Right. He's firing through them.
That's true. I'm like, hey, I got to get them in. If I'm buying rounds, I got to get them in. That's what I'm saying. Got to get it in. All right, ready?
I mean, man, you could buy two rounds in a row. It would be crazy.
Oh, I tried. You know what?
It's not against the law.
At least not this state. Guy's so thirsty. I didn't realize.
I said the last time, actually before we got you away from your less popular bandmates, I said, hey, I'll buy it. And he goes, no. He's like, it's my turn. Your brother said that. And I was like, okay, all right. I'm not going to fight you. But I would definitely buy 2 in a row if I have.
Yeah, after you grab me by my arm and pick me up out of my seat to go get the beer. Like, I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to pay for it.
To get like the 50 cents to come out. So
I was scared. I didn't want to be eaten alive.
Yeah, I understand. I'm pro,
MSS, why don't you pay some bills, you cannibal?
It's October and the end of baseball season on the South Side. While we prepare for next year, it's important to go over some numbers. 24. The number of people on Mazda of Orland Park Pride Crew, 5,000. That's how many shirts they gave away. 56,000. That's how much Mazda of Orland Park has donated to White Sox charities in 2022. 0. How many cars our fans have bought from Mazda of Orland Park? That's pathetic, but it's about to change. They say if you want it, you have to will it. So that's what we are going to do. Folks, I need one of our fans to buy a Mazda from Mazda of Orland Park. It can be a Mazda 3, a CX-5, 9, 30, or even 50. Even Mailman Jack's favorite, the sporty Mazda Miata, can be purchased. Any of those will do. I just want some results. In addition to getting a great vehicle with an incredible warranty, the 108 will send you free merch for an entire year. That's right. You'll be on the family discount program. We'll send you every piece of merch we do for an entire year. That's almost worth it alone. So head on over to www.mazdaofOrlandPark.com and get to know their full lineup. Give them a follow on Twitter @ZoomZoomNation to get updates on all their offerings. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom.
All right, guys. It's time for a little White Sox talk, and we're going to bring in an additional person for some White Sox talk today. I'm adding him in right now. Our good friend, Brewhand Luke, is here with us. Very excited to have you, Luke. And from what the beef was letting me in on what you're going to be talking about. So let's get to who is the pimp of the year.
Yeah.
Yes. Fly Guy. How did you get Fly Guy? How did you clip Fly Guy, Treasy? I love it.
Well, I mean, we're talking about pimp of the year. I figure we gotta get Fly Guy in there. So Luke, lay it on us. Who's the pimp of the year?
Oh man!
Oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I read this wrong. Beer of the year.
Yes.
Luke is here for beer of the year. Okay,
Don
I'm going to hand it off to MSS. Then you probably know more about this than anybody. MSS. You
I was ready for either one. Doesn't really make a difference.
Is Don the magic wand still around? Because if he is definitely always the pimp of the year. But I think he's dead.
I don't know if that guy's alive. I don't keep up on him.
I don't know. Yeah, Loaf and I talked, and we were like, hey, we got to get Luke involved in here. And what's Luke's thing? Luke's thing is not just stealing people's souls because he's a ginger. It is beer, and he drinks a lot of good beer. The man always is texting us and saying, hey, I just picked up this. Hey, I'm going to write a blog about this. Hey, I just did that. Now, what stops Luke's from writing these blogs? Mostly weed. He smokes high, gets high, and forgets to write the blog. And that's okay. We don't mind that because that's something that is very 108. Okay, like I do the same thing. I've told Chirizi and Loaf a million ideas. I'm going to write this blog, and then I never write it because you know why? True. Edibles. I just eat that edible, and I'm like, you know what?
Edibles.
I'd rather watch Jeffrey Dahmer fry up a spleen. So, Luke,
which you're so totally in favor of
because he's so hungry from it.
So, Luke, we wanted you to come through to us because you drink a lot of different stuff. You drink some of the older Irving brewery stuff downstairs. You drink the Pipeworks. You drink, I'm assuming the Hot Butcher. But you drink all different stuff. What was one beer? If you could only have one beer for the whole year, what would it be?
Man, this is an interesting follow-up to like all the cannibalism talk. Is this what you're trying to wash your meal down with here? Is this why you're bringing me in?
That will be next.
You know what, Luke? We'll talk about what pairs well with human organs, but for now, let's talk about in the park stuff. We don't eat anyone in the park,
allegedly.
Usually.
Okay,
not anymore.
So this was interesting because, like my Soxover said, there's a lot of beers that I drink in the park, but there's also beers outside of the park because I think tailgating beers also count.
Oh, yeah. Good call. I would agree. Yeah.
100%.
So, obviously, Pineapple Guppy is what's the go-to drink last year and this year, but that's too obvious. You can't just have Pineapple Guppy. Everybody's thinking, like, yeah, that's what I'm going to pick. No, fuck that. That's too easy. Light Sky is a terrible beer. Nobody should ever drink it. You know, I don't know why. If you're going to drink beer.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks for the drink.
Greg says you got to
Greg.
Drink it.
Greg, I'll go right from the bottle for you, buddy. How about
Beautiful.
that? Huh?
That's look at that.
I'm glad.
If
Just
you're
had
going
a
to
swallow
beer,
left in the container.
If you're going to drink beer at the ballpark, I don't know why you would order a Light Sky for the same price as a Pineapple Guppy. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I'll tell you why. Because I gained 8,000 pounds drinking Pineapple Guppy. and I didn't want to go through that again.
He told me that earlier today. He's like, that fucking pineapple guppy, that put so much weight on me.
Yeah, well, you know what? Well,
What
you totally fucked up these last 3 games because they had a couple guppies left, and you're trying to put on a little extra weight before the weigh-in.
Oh, it's true. I should have done
you
that.
did fuck
right.
up.
I mean,
That's
you
100%.
fucked that up.
Luke, that's why you're part of the 108 family now. Telling me how dumb I am. Thank you.
That's correct.
So I had some good Hams beers at the tailgates. I know there was one time when Summer of George was in town, Shane was tailgating. I was drinking some Hams beer and watched Summer of George lose a race to Gabe. That was outstanding.
Oh, controversial.
I mean, it's still up for debate, but no, the beer of the year was on my birthday. We had a little mini, like, low-key tailgate, and Dougie Fresh came in with these 2 bomber bottles from one was from Phase 3 and the other was from Whiskey Hill, and they were fucking 15% stouts. And I was figuring, well,
Luke, to frame it, when is your birthday and what temperature was it that day?
okay. So the birthday is in July, and it was early in the day, but it was still like 85, 90 degrees. It was hot.
Yeah, it was hot.
Hot as balls. Hot as balls.
But I figured, what better way than going to watch this awful baseball team? I mean, you got to get shit-faced for it. So why not have a 15% stout on a 95-degree day?
No better way.
So the beer
Cheers,
was
Dan.
from
Dan, thanks for the drink. Bless you.
the beer was from Phase 3. We did a TikTok video for it. In the TikTok video, My Sock Summer butchered the name of it, even though it was had the pronunciation right underneath how to like say it.
Marinara stout or what?
Yeah, it was
Marinara.
like it had the phonetics right underneath the label on how to say the name.
It's
So
it.
if you go back and watch that TikTok, you can see like how the fuck do you fuck that up? But anyways, it's
stupid, Luke.
Unoya. It's pronounced Unoya from Phase 3. They do this batch every year. This was their 7th batch, and it had stroopwafel in it. So like they had the waffles and this coffee stout pressed in, and there was like little chunks of waffle in there, and it was fucking outstanding. And next thing
I
you
had
know-
some of that.
Yeah,
I
it
had
was-
some of that, and I will agree that it was one of the best beers I've had all year. MSS, I'm going to back you up here
It's good.
because I was worried that you didn't pronounce stroopwafel right.
Yeah.
But when Luke said the name of the beer, I can't say it either. I can't even repeat what he just said. So I got your back. I got your back, MSS.
You know
you can't just make up fucking words and then expect me to know how to say it.
I don't understand the difference between a long vowel and a short vowel. Like me and my kid are like going like rounds, and I had to call my sister. I'm like, dude, I don't understand any of this. And she's like, it's simple. You just do this. And then I go, okay, so what's this? And she goes, well, that's an oddball. That's the one that you put to the side. And I'm like, the fuck? No. Like, why don't we just have a straightforward
hang on a
goddamn
second.
language?
I sent you a video
MSS
from Mo
didn't-
and Billy Howard to show you how to do it.
I know. Thanks.
That's true. That is true. The what is that? Swinging the alphabet. I don't understand how MSS hasn't heard people speak the English language his entire life and figure these words out. Like, this is a grade. They're kids in like first grade. You should know these fucking words, MSS. I'm sorry. I mean, no excuses on
the rules, bro. It's the rules. They didn't. I don't think I even got it back then. I was like, I'm like, I refuse to learn it. I refuse to learn it. You know what's funny is a King Nam, another beer aficionado, also texted me and was like, yo, I don't understand that shit neither. So we're again, it's another thing that we're totally alike at, you know, so that we're both dumb when it comes to long and short vowels.
I honestly thought that K-Dog's comment here when it says, when does the 90s porn talk start? I thought it said porn star stout. I don't know. Maybe just the cannibalism.
That would be a good one.
There's really getting to me.
It'd be a banger.
Break down this stroopwafel beer, though, because it was delicious. And I think everyone needs to know about it.
So it was like the first taste, I was like, oh, yeah, it's a stout. Then I had another sip. I'm like, that's a really fucking good stout. You could really, like, if you want a stout at a 50% stout at 11:30 in the morning, and like, this is the one to have. Why? Because you could taste like the waffles and the syrup and the coffee in it. Like, it was like, it's got everything you want for a 15% stout on a hot July day. even though like you can have it any fucking time, but that was the absolute perfect time. It had everything that I was expecting in there. You got a little bit of everything when they say, hey, it's got this, this, and this in there. Yeah, you could taste all of it. I mean, to physically see the actual pieces of waffles in the beer was awesome. That's
it was awesome.
I would say like the interesting thing to me was that like, so you do have the waffles. There's certainly like a syrup flavor to it. And yet somehow they kept it from being overly sweet, right? Like it wasn't like, like I've drank some stouts where it's like, I forget who makes it, but it's like a Neapolitan ice cream
brewing. Yep.
And it's real sweet. Like it's you definitely taste the flavors they want you to taste, but it's very sweet. This somehow was not overly sweet to me, and I thought that was a pretty impressive with what the ingredients were.
Yeah, it wasn't
with it wasn't out a little bitterness, right?
It wasn't overly sweet, and I didn't think it was overly strong, which is probably why I kept drinking it really quickly.
It was overly strong.
And I'll say this too, Dougie Fresh, who popped these 2 bottles, in honor of your birthday, in honor of us and you guys, everyone just celebrating. He has like a sip of them and then goes, all right, guys, I'll see you later. Have a good one. And just leaves 2 bottles there. And we're like, dude, these are bangers. You can't just be leaving them here. So like we had to drink them. So we drank them, it was good stuff. So thanks Dougie for that. And yeah, that was like a great stout. So that's
much like human organs. You don't want to leave those to waste.
So now that's the beer of the year. What was your go-to all year in the park, Luke? What was the go-to beer besides
the Guppy? The pineapple Guppy was the go-to.
All right.
It has been the last 2 years. I was really surprised this year. Like last year, they ran out of it. All the pineapple Guppy. It was like a crisis in the ballpark. Yeah. It was like a legitimate crisis. Our beer ladies would stash them away for us, and they were gone. I did like to venture like about once a homestand. I'd walk in through gate 2 and go buy a beer from the craft cave and then walk up and be like, oh, let's try this. Let's try that. So that, I mean, I didn't have a specific go-to beer in the craft cave because I wanted to try something different each time.
Yeah.
Some were good. Some were terrible.
So tell me what, like you're breaking it up. You're like, oh man, I've had enough Guppy. I want to go try something new down in the craft cave. What's the best thing that you pulled out of the craft cave and said, man, this is dynamite. I will go back to this, at home.
Her name was Tanya. That's the best thing he pulled out of the craft cave.
So there was one from Ravinia. It was a juicy, hazy IPA. I can't remember the name. It was in a yellow can. We had that at the happy hour season ticket holder event.
Oh yeah, we drank it and we did a TikTok.
That was another TikTok video.
Yep.
I'm not trying to promote the TikTok. That is one of them that was.
You should try to promote the TikTok. That's why you're here.
It's happening. It's certainly happening. But that was really good. I was a big fan of the fact that they finally, in the last homestand, I was able to get a $7 Two-Hearted Ale, and it was not expired. It was like last month it was canned. So
no, that's not bad.
You can't go to the craft cave and not get the Hot Butcher because they rotate through the Hot Butcher, whatever is canned most recently. Oh man, that's sad.
It's not happening. Josh Nelson is at 2 beers. He's going crazy.
I mean, maybe that's the highest value in a trade piece. You never know. Maybe the craft cave has a lot of value.
It's like Liam Hendrick's craft cave. That's what a tradable assets.
I would have loved to make a lot more trips to the craft cave this year, but circumstances, a gate being closed, did not allow that to happen. So usually when I went to the craft cave, it was when I would go to gate 2 and walk in through that way and then come up to the seats.
That's awesome.
I want a little more purpose out of you next year, Luke. If that gate is the only thing standing between you and getting to go to the craft cave whenever you want, you got to start flipping it. You just
saw
gotta
so many people do
you
that.
gotta make your mark.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
make your mark.
You
Luke,
gotta-
are
you
you
gotta-
a rule follower?
You gotta flip it, and when they say, "Hey, you can't do that," then you give them, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?" And then you'll be fine. Beef does it all the time.
I don't want no. I never did that. But I don't want him to flip it like you would flip a fence. I want him to go Fosbury flop like he's doing a high jump. That's how you go over it. Like you
That'll
back
you'll
over
break
it,
your neck.
yeah. That's how you go, and then you stick it. You land.
That's how that guy tried to catch Aaron Judge's 60-second homer.
Broke his femur.
Fosbury flop. You know how you get people over the craft cave with a Fosbury flop?
How's that?
You put a $20 bill on the other side. They reach over, and now they're on the other side. It works. It works with high jump. That's what you do.
That's how you
Put a
do
$20 bill on the pit.
All right. I like it.
See, he's a track
Love it.
man.
Coaching
I know.
tips. Coaching tips. I love it.
That's for a different episode. But you do have to get creative, though. You can't just hop the gate the same way every time. I think you're onto something there, Teresi. Like,
I think you got to surf down the thing and then just jump in. Kind of like you know when Fred Flintstone gets out of work, you got to do that. You got to slide down the tail and then just pop up. You land in one of those TV seats and then you just walk over.
108 Brontosaurus will let you get.
Exactly.
Fly down the Brontosaurus.
That's what they're replacing next year, where they're putting in place of the light landing or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be
The
it's gonna be
Stegosaurus.
It's gonna be huge.
all right,
It's
I'll get creative next year, and I'll find different ways to get into the craft cave. If the shortcut is still closed, maybe it'll be open.
We'll get
Maybe.
that. We'll get that.
All right.
We'll see what
We're
can
gonna
do.
talk to the narc too. I'm gonna make sure the narc gets in there, and we're gonna do a nice.
He's my
interview.
friend now, not yours,
Yeah, he's
MSS.
true,
You wasted your time and he got me 2 free beers on the last game on Wednesday.
Oh, what a nice
he's,
guy.
You know,
Nice
he's
guy.
a sweetheart. No?
That's
Yeah,
true.
he
Well,
is.
Luke, dude, thank you for jumping in, telling us about these beers. And man, we got to find that beer that me and MSS cannot pronounce.
Yeah.
See if we get some more of that, because that was awesome. And
good.
Luke, we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, cheers, guys.
Take care,
Cheers.
Luke.
Thanks for having me.
Peace,
Appreciate
bro.
it.
Check out Luke's column too. He tells you how to lose money every Saturday. So him and Don do like a little blog, and they have like 3 picks, and they're usually not winners. So you should definitely check
No,
that
Luke's
out.
been on fire with his picks.
I would-
Nam's picks stink. Nam doesn't.
I mean-
yeah, he's always losing.
I
Nam
gave
is the equivalent of Sammy P's bartender.
Yes.
You might have to start fading Nam.
you gotta fade Nam, man. That's the way to do it.
I gave the worst advice ever. I was like, "Hey guys, you should bet on NIU. There's definitely going to win 7 games this year." Now I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm sweating it. I'm sweating
Treasy
it."
bet on.
NIU.
Treasy bet on that. Huh?
They're not going to win 7 games. They're like 1-4 or something.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's like I bet the over on the Oakland A's. It's just a
fucked up.
terrible,
Fucked up.
terrible advice. But let's get back to White Sox
Boom.
talk.
Let's
all right.
do it.
Now let's talk about this for a second, because
Yep.
you know, guys, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably listen to some other White Sox podcasts, and I love a bunch of the other White Sox podcasts, and they're all going to do this thing at the end of the year. Everyone does it, is they give grades, and they'll go through the pitching and things, and they'll give grades to that. We're going to give grades, but we're not going to do it like that. We got a little bit different scenario. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this. We're going to do whatever we want, really. So we're going to go grade by grade. So we're going to start with A, and we're going to go all the way to F. And it could be anything Sox related. It does not have to be on the field play. It could be front office. It could be something in the stands. It could be whatever you want it to be.
Yep.
In fact, none of mine are on the field. None of them are baseball player related.
Yeah.
I don't
Luckily,
think.
I do have a few that are.
I
on the
do,
field,
too.
because we
But so-
it's okay to judge.
I do
them,
too.
So I'm going to start it off to give everybody an idea of what we're talking about here. So
Yep.
Yeah.
we're going to start with the A grade.
Yep.
Doug.
An A, in fact, I want to give this an A plus, is our friends up at the top of the section that serve us beer.
Yes.
They just an absolute A plus. They were incredible all year. They are there every damn day. They even, for a certain event, came back after a break and served us later into the night.
That's right.
Legally. It wasn't
Legally.
Yep.
And man, and at the end of the year, they gave us some gifts, and it was just tremendous. It was just tremendous. I loved it. It's one of those things where, like, it's almost like our cheers, right? The Section 108 is our cheers, right? And like, it's where everybody knows your name, right? And our bartenders to know our names is beautiful. It's something that if you ever experience where, you know, you have your local bar and you go there all the time, they know you. Having that at the ballpark is so special, and I love it. And so A+ for that.
A+. Yeah, no, I agree. And I had them written down too. I have like, you know, several, you know, just in case. I didn't want to overlap. But I definitely had the beer ladies as one of the ones. And one of the like most telling things is like I didn't drink a lot of beer this year. I drank a lot of mixed drinks, and I would go to the Jack Daniels bar a lot too. And one of our beer ladies was like, listen, I can sneak you in a bottle of Jack Daniels. You don't have to go over there and buy that. I'll just give it to you. I'll bring you in a flask every game. You can just drink it there. I'm like, it's okay. We don't need to do that. You
they
know,
do right by us.
Like, you know, I appreciated that. And yeah, that's definitely, they go above and beyond. And, you know, made us some nice necklaces for the last game that we saw. You know, that was fun stuff.
Yeah, that was sweet.
That was great.
That was awesome.
Who's
all
next?
right? MSS, give me your A.
So I'm going to go baseball related, and it's something that I think definitely deserves an A, because we weren't expecting the things that came out of it, like or came from this person, and I was very impressed and very happy. And I'm giving an A to Ethan Katz. This guy has done something like with his starting pitching, because we thought we were going to be in a like a kind of a, I want to say clutch, but it's not clutch, a crux. We were going to be in a problem with the starting pitching. And I was worried about starting pitching like from the get-go. Did not expect Lucas Giolito to lay an absolute egg this year. Did not expect.
But that's Ethan Katz's boy.
But now listen.
That's what I was going to ask too. Like, what the heck?
Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Yes.
While I'm going to even go back to last year too. I feel Ethan Katz is getting these guys ready to go, and he's got them moving in the right direction. And I like what he's done with all this. I'm giving Ethan Katz, he's the only person on the coaching staff that I would keep. Giolito, I think he's tried something this year. It did not work. I think White Sox Dave needs to get in his ear and tell him all the things that he told us and just be like, listen, bro, you got to lose your weight and get out of your head. Maybe do some edibles, maybe do some 3-Chi. I have some if you want to borrow some. And you should try it and get out of your head. But that's the first person that's who I want to give an A to, is because I think he came up big in getting like some lackluster pitchers back up to where they're supposed to be, and also carrying us through. I did not worry about starting pitching this year as much as I worried about some other things that we probably shouldn't have worried about.
So here's my problem with your A on this.
Go ahead.
MSS. First of all, Giolito being bad is a big part of this. That's the reason Ethan Katz was hired, was how well he worked with Giolito.
Boy, you're my boy, Blue.
So that's one of the best performances is from Johnny Cueto. And
true.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything with Johnny Cueto. He didn't teach Johnny Cueto to do anything. The guy's
he's
professional, and they threw him in the end. If you would have focused on Dylan Cease, or maybe said the program that he's putting together produced a Davis Martin, but I feel like Davis Martin went out to like some lab and got like 2-3 miles per hour on his fastball. Like I feel like none of this is really Ethan Katz.
So here's my problem. Here's my problem with everything you're fucking saying right now.
Go ahead.
Well, no, my problem, like just from what you've said so far, and we can go like forward. You're giving all the credit to the good to the player, and you're giving the bad.
No,
to the
not for Cease.
No,
I'm saying I would give Ethan Katz credit on the Cease part. That's where you should have went.
But Davis Martin, you said that's probably not him. He went to a lab, and you're saying Johnny Cueto
I'm not
came
giving.
in and he just did his thing.
Yeah, Johnny
like,
Cueto's 36. I mean, I think he's.
Oh no, I understand, but like whatever he did or whatever he didn't do or whatever, it still was like way better than what we were expecting from a Johnny Cueto. We didn't expect that to happen. So I mean,
MSS is big mad right now.
I
don't think he's big mad. He's not.
I'm not big mad. I'm just saying I refuse to be like, if you're gonna give him, like, you're gonna say the bad with Giolito is his fault, then you got to say the good with Johnny Cueto it's his fault too. Like you can't.
No, I don't have to say that. I do not have to say that because Johnny Cueto showed up after the season started. There was no time for like Ethan Katz to do anything with him.
You don't know that.
And I'll give you an example.
He's also a veteran that's for a long time.
MSS. I will give you an example of why I'm saying that. Because they brought in Vince Velasquez as a project. And Ethan Katz literally blamed the fact that they had a lockout on why he couldn't get enough reps in with Vince Velasquez to bring him along. So he's saying, so that's why I'm saying, like, Johnny Cueto just shows up and he's good right away. I can't give that to Ethan Katz. I could give him Jimmy Lambert. I could give him Dylan Cease. I could give him whatever happened with Reynaldo Lopez, even if it was that they gave him new eyeballs.
Yeah, he couldn't see. He
helped. Like, his program has helped something there.
It's helped the bat for sure.
But then you also have to take the bad. You have to say that Giolito is there. You have to say part of the game is Ethan Katz managing the bullpen, because that still falls under him, right? Like, Tony La Russa is asleep, so like Ethan Katz is doing some of this, and like the bullpen. The guys that were supposed to be good were bad.
They were horrible. Yeah.
Except for Hendricks. I mean,
let's
some good points. But my main point here is I don't know how it's an A.
Okay.
Let's do it this way. No, you keep your A. Treasy, what grade would you give Ethan Katz? Let's grade Ethan Katz, and we'll see what the compass is, where we're at.
I'd give him like a C.
Okay, I give him a B. So I'm in the ballpark with MSS. I agree. There were some failures, but he did do a good job. Like, if we're picking a guy on the coaching staff who did a good job, I think he did a good job. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
He passed.
He was not an epic failure like our hitting coach, right? Like, we didn't have a bunch of superstars just totally shit the bed, right?
I agree.
Like in the pen. Like, kind of. We kind of had some guys that we expected something from. But, like, even a Joe Kelly, I'm going to blame Joe Kelly for being shitty, but also Joe Kelly was hurt when we signed him and brought him in, and we expected a lot from him.
Yeah, and Joe Kelly being bad is Joe Kelly being bad.
Yeah, so he's just okay.
I think we all agree.
So the comments are all over the place with this. So some people agree with you, MSS. Some people, Katz is a Sterling A. Says White Sox L. So Carmen Mike Sox says solid B plus. So
hey, okay, listen, A minus B plus. What the fuck?
Beef, give us an A.
Well, you stole my original A. I had glorious things written up about our ladies at the beer stand up at the top. I didn't even remember if it's still considered the Midwest beer stand. I don't know that.
I couldn't remember that either.
I don't think there's Midwest beer in there. That's why I was worried about it. It probably wasn't. Thank you, Yum.
Cheers, Yum. Pour one out for all the cannibals out there from Yum.
Pour one right down my gullet. My choice for an A, though, my backup choice is the aforementioned Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto came in out of nowhere, shot like a bullet, was terrific for material all the season. But also he filled various needs of, like, pitching a lot of innings, just kind of supporting the thing when you needed a real stopper, and he would be that guy. He also had that game, I think it was against Texas, where he came in relief and pitched 5 innings in relief and was just outstanding. It's just like, man, what big balls on Johnny Cueto to be doing this. And also the aesthetic of watching a Johnny Cueto pitch is just so pleasing to a baseball fan, right? Baseball's become so much about velocity and like these ridiculous breaking balls. And Johnny Cueto does it the old way, where he's like working every single angle. He's got different motions, and he speeds up and he slows down, and he works all angles on a plate and throws 4 different pitches. And so, like, he's just fun to watch from an aesthetic standpoint. It's like, he looks at the hitter's weak. Most pitchers nowadays, like, I got my 2 good pitches, I'm just going to work those the entire game. Johnny looks at the hitter and says, what can't this person hit? And attacks him that way. And it's kind of fun to watch. So, for me, and lastly, like, he's up there running the stairs, and then they showed the last day of the season, Luis Robert was running the upper deck stairs with him. Like, he's getting people the church of Johnny Cueto, like, old school training methods. So he was just so much fun. I know he probably won't be back next year. I just really enjoyed the shit out of watching him play.
Why can't we have him back next year? Tell me why we can't have him back.
My thought would be he's probably going to make more money than the Sox would want to spend.
That's
kind of back end. I know that sucks, right? I mean, like, that's my thought. Maybe not. Maybe they would be able to get him back. That'll be sweet.
This is what I don't understand, and this is something that it's and the same with Jose Abreu. Why can't we put out a little extra money for something that's a little bit of sentimental? Like, give a guy $2 million extra, like, just fucking have him around. I mean, I don't get it. Like, it just that bothers me.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Chuck.
And Baloney's also in the comments, and he says, would be an A+, but for Cueto's affinity for horses knocked him down a peg. That's correct.
Well, for you.
That's absolutely right. That's why I only give him an A. No A+. No A+.
The only other A I had was Dylan Cease. And I had everything that we mentioned was Dylan Cease.
Easily.
I think that's just like a known thing. So I was like, that's not even fun to talk about. I would bring up, like, Ethan Katz just to fuck with Teresa.
It's a good topic. I'm glad you brought it up, baby.
So Beef, I'm gonna kick it to you for the turnaround because I give you the first B because I stole your A.
You stole my A,
which sounds horny, but Beef,
my
give us
A,
a B.
my A hymen is no longer intact. My B choice is my favorite player on this roster, and he's probably not going to be with us anymore. It's Jose Abreu. I'm a long-time Abreu stan, and I think Jose Abreu would even not consider his season an A because he didn't have the power numbers, he didn't have the RBI. This was the first season Jose Abreu was a White Sox where he did not lead the team in RBI. He had one other season where he didn't lead the team in home runs, and that was 18 when Daniel Palka had 27, and that was the year Jose got hurt. But Jose still did have more RBI that year than Palka. This year, he ended up with 75 RBI. Andrew Vaughn ended up with 76. But Jose Abreu was still a vintage excellent hitter, and he was just showed how a great hitter can morph themselves if they're either injured or start losing a step a little bit. He just became much more of a contact hitter, took a bunch of walks. He was top 10 in the AL in walks, in hits, in doubles, on base percentage. Like he was kind of way up there. He was a top 25 hitter by WRC plus in Major League Baseball. So still playing really good ball. He was above average or he was a top 5 first baseman defensively by outs above average. I mean, he just had a terrific year. Still a B year for Jose because he did win the MVP 2 years ago. But my B grade is Jose Abreu, and I'm happy to talk about him at least one last time as a White Sox on this podcast.
Oh, I love that pick, and I mean, like he was borderline A for me, just because the season sucked so much, and like every game you could kind of count on Jose being out there, which was unusual for the team. Like there wasn't a lot of consistency in who was going to be playing.
No,
and then he performed. He just continued to perform. He didn't have the power, but he continued to perform. So I like the B grade. I like the B grade there. I'll go next. And this is probably my most controversial.
I
pick.
wanted to talk about Jose too, but go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
baby.
I'm a
No, I was
Jose love, baby.
the problem I have. B is definitely great for Jose Abreu, and the best Jose Abreu is the Jose Abreu that gets doubted by people, and he's once again getting doubted. Everyone's like, "Don't re-sign him. We don't need to re-sign him." The Sox are probably playing that way, so he's going to have a killer year next year. Just like I predicted in 2020 when we knew we were going to have a shortened season, I predicted he was going to win the MVP. I said Jose Abreu was going to win the MVP this year. I basically said that.
You didn't say that, but almost said it. You did say he was going to have a killer year. Yeah, and you
he
were correct. He did,
crush.
in fact, have a killer year. I agree with you.
I knew he was going to crush. So I feel like he's probably going to crush if he goes somewhere else. And I think guys in our age group especially love Jose Abreu. Because you're like, this guy is probably 42 years old. We don't know exact ages. And that guy never stops.
That's racist. I'm sorry. That's racist.
Well, I'm just saying, he gets out there and he is never going to stop trying. Like, that's the thing. Jose Abreu is like a guy in like an old movie about like Roman soldiers or something. They lose their arm and he's like, oh, I'm going to pick up the sword out of the hand that just got cut off and I'm going to hit with this. And then they're going to cut that off and he's going to be like, I'm going to try to bite you. You know, like he's just going to go until he's done.
I think you're thinking of Monty Python.
What?
I think you're thinking of Monty Python.
Whatever. Same deal. I'm just saying he doesn't quit. Okay.
Nathan Sheba, thanks for the drink. Appreciate it. Nathan says, Jose will always be a top grade for me.
See you,
my sweet
Nathan.
pedo. Yeah, it was great to see Nathan. I agree with you, Nathan. Like, I know you and I are on the forefront of the why not bring Jose Abreu back. I think what's happening with a lot of fans right now is materially they all do want Jose back, but some of them are trying to figure out a way to talk themselves into not being so hurt that Jose's not back. So a lot of stuff I see on Twitter is like people are making like caveats and excuses to themselves that like this is a smart thing to do because they don't want to feel the hurt of Jose going away. And I you can tell the fan base fucking loves Jose Abreu. When he comes into the plate, he's the guy who gets the big round of applause. He's the guy people are talking about. So
I might buy his jersey. I mean, that's how much I'm like. I might, if he goes away and it's on clearance over there at Chi Sports Depot, I'll probably buy one. Definitely get a Jose Abreu.
I'm with you, MSS. I like this idea because I don't like to buy a jersey when the guy's still on the team.
No,
right?
Like because you never know what's going to happen. But like if this is his career with the Sox, yeah, I mean that's a jersey that I'll be wearing for years and years, just like my kids.
79. Just as good as 14 and 35. You know, like he's right there. And that 31 years of dominance at first base for the White Sox.
There's no question.
Amazing.
I'm more than happy to put him right there with 14. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
He's ahead of 14 for me, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's 2 and 3. They're
That's
2 and
right.
3.
Yeah, they're 2 and 3. I agree.
2 and 2A. Really,
The order
right?
don't matter. They're both there though.
A lot of people are already putting Vaughn into the 2 slot, so it's interesting.
We'll see.
Too short.
So my B, and you guys might kill me for this one, but I'm solidly behind this.
Okay.
The Cascade concert
Oh,
was a B. It was not an A. They did not knock it
no.
out of the park. They did not knock it out of the park. However, I think the concept was good. I think that they promoted it well. Like, because a lot of times they're doing stuff at the park and they're just like, I didn't even know this was happening.
Right.
Someone's throwing on a first pitch, never even heard about it. It never surfaced anywhere, right? Like all these things they do where like you feel like they just didn't get enough promotion out about it. The Cascade thing, you couldn't avoid knowing that it was happening, right? It was like one of Benetti's podcasts. You hear about it 400 times a day.
Well,
right?
yeah. The only difference is, Treasy, we stayed for Cascade. We didn't listen to Benetti's podcast.
We did, and I'm not a big Cascade.
They did a
fan.
live podcast there.
No. Benetti's podcast gets advertised on the scoreboard.
I was like very confused there for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, they did a live podcast and we didn't stay for it. We should.
And MSS was drunk as fuck though. Yeah, he might be right now. Too.
I was.
I'm not sure.
I was
Can't
pretty.
But it got a lot of people into the stadium that normally wouldn't have shown up. In fact, some people that I knew came over and were like, "Hey, we came for this game, because we're Sox fans, but it's also Cascade, so we came out. This is the only game we're going to this year, that kind of thing." And then I thought it was good. I thought, like, I'm not a Cascade fan, so it's like it's fine. I would have liked if there would have been a little more volume pushed out to the outfield.
Yeah.
I wish they would have like done a few other things a little different. But overall, I think it was a good concept, and it's something that they should continue to do. Like having 2 or 3 of those next year, I think would be great, and maybe mix it up with the band. So like, different audiences of people will come out for that. But yeah, so I gave it a B. I think that's a solid B. Like it's a good effort, not great.
Now, MSS, do you remember enough of this concert to get on his ass about this shit?
Here's what I don't remember, most of it. But here's what I do remember. The sound wasn't great. Like the sound wasn't good. But now when I talked to my guys at the Sox, they're like, that's why we made the announcement to go sit behind home plate, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. My beer ladies are right back here and they're selling beer for another inning. I'm not doing that. So, and the problem, like, I guess I liked everything about that. And I agree with you. I agree with you, Treasy. I want them to do more of that stuff. I think they should do more of that stuff. And they should have a local H go out and just play 7 songs or 8 songs, or get another group or to come in and just do it. And like one of the other good nights, like in addition to Cascade, was they had like these dancers. They had these urban dancers or something from Chicago, and they were up in the kids club area, and they were like doing all sorts of shit to some really hit music. And I'm like, yes, and everyone was into it. They're like, look at this shit, look at this guy, because it wasn't your prototypical dancers. It was just guys out there that just were moving. Is fun. It was fun, and people were like, this is exciting. And the same thing with Cascade. We had friends, people that said they were never going to go to a Sox game, went to that game because they were like, yeah, I want to go see Cascade because I can go see Cascade for $15. So yeah, no, I agree. It was a good one.
All right.
Did I
MSS. Give me your B.
My B is going to go to a certain group of people, not everybody, but a certain group of people that usually get the shaft, but it's the real diehard fans of the Chicago White Sox. You got a B this year. And the reason I'm giving you a B is because even when we were really running on 2 tires, we were on the car, we're on 2 tires and we're still going, we're still standing up with 2 outs in the 7th, cheering on some guy, we're still giving the big applauses to guys when they go do something good. And the Sox fans, the diehards, the real Sox fans that come out to the games on a Tuesday, on a Monday, are still up there. You guys wrote it out, and we did not give up until we had to give up, which was about 2 weeks ago when we got swept by the Indians, and that was our final call. And everyone was still in till then. We're like, we still have a chance. And then we're like, no, we're done. So I'm going to give B to the real diehard Chicago White Sox fans.
What do you think of that, Beef?
I mean, that's a strong grade. I mean, there was a, you know what? I'll go out there this way, Treasy. There's a fair amount of complaining from the diehards, and that, deservedly so. But I mean, that's why I think MSS gave him the B, because he's right. People stuck it out. Like we saw a bunch of we were there on Wednesday, and we saw people that we see all the time there, and it's like, yeah, well, this is it. We gotta be here. We gotta support. And it's like, that to me would normally be an A grade. I think a little bit of the, over zealous complaining maybe knocks it down to a B. So I'm right there with MSS. I think that the OG Sox fans, we suffered through maybe not such great season ticket holder parties that were getting thrown this past weekend, and we still toughed it out. It was nice.
All right.
What about you, Tracy? You don't agree with that?
Oh, I think it's fine. I think that's an accurate grade. I didn't have much to say about it. I'm not a diehard fan, so I don't know much about it. I didn't show up on Wednesday. So I saw the score when I was done with work, and I was like,
you're good.
Well, thanks. MSS, I'll let you turn it back around with the C grade here.
Okay. C, I didn't want to just pick out one player in particular to earn this C. I was going to give it to our entire offense. Our offense got a C grade for the entire year. Some parts were good. Some games we'll score 10 runs, and there were some games that we'd score 1 run. I thought we had advertised a team that could hit the shit out of the ball, hit home runs at will, and we did not get that. And it cost us a lot on the field. It cost us a lot of games. It cost a lot of people just like, what the fuck? Why can't these guys hit home runs? Why are we struggling to hit home runs in home run friendly parks, on the road, wherever? So I got to give C to our offense.
MSS, I can't think of a better grade for the most 500 mediocre team ever than a C. That's a perfect grade. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. They have a WRC plus of 99. So league average is 100. This is a C. This is the meaty part of the bell curve, 100%. That's the Cest C you could possibly have. I totally agree.
Absolutely. Beef, what is your C?
My C is going to be a substantial group of people that we interface with a lot, and that's White Sox Twitter. White Sox Twitter is going to get a C, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to explain the whole season for you. So when we're coming out of the gate hot, White Sox Twitter was on fire like it should be when there was still hope or whatever. By the time we got to the middle of the season and people started realizing like things are not kind of going right here or whatever, White Sox Twitter had added a lot of bandwagon fans, which I think is great. I'm the more the merrier. But the bandwagon fans weren't quite sure how to deal with the fact that they thought they were getting something pretty good and they were getting some mediocre bullshit. And they really dragged it down because they were extremely dour, and not in a way in which the OGs are dour. And so when they jumped off, though, as we got towards the end of the year, the rest of us were left, kind of the bandwagoners were like checked out. And the like old White Sox Twitter, we deal with this in humor. And so the humor came back real strong. And so that's why I'm giving the C. I think we're back prepared to be the humor group again because we no longer trust the bullshit over there. So if it's good, it's going to be good. If it's bad, it's still going to be hilarious. So I think we're in good shape heading into next year, but I got to give White Sox Twitter a C for this season.
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit.
Oh, go for it, baby.
I'm going to pump them up. I'm going to give him at least a B because the back and forth with Steve Stone was unreal. And the fact that Steve Stone was getting in there and replying, like the fact that White Sox Twitter was able to Beef, you've seen a lot of horror movies, right? Like, so think of any movie where like something is reaching up from the bowels of hell and dragging someone into it. We did that to Steve Stone this year. And so I think that needs a little bit of credit. And so I think that
I don't disagree with you, Treasy, but
ruining his Q rating on the internet is worth something.
But I agree with you. But there was a little too much of like the cheap shot. We're just going to get blocked thing. But you're right. There were enough people who played it long enough to have a lot of fun with it, and where it was entertaining to watch. Now I don't like to talk about myself or give myself credit, but I did get Steve Stone on a White Sox broadcast that everyone was watching to talk about my penis. He said that I had shrinkage. I mean, who else can get a broadcaster of that stature to talk about their salchicha dream?
Maybe Jorge. Jorge would have won Sox math.
That's
easy.
Possibility. I will say though, the White Sox Twitter doesn't get an A though, because you're right about the cheap shots beef, but not so much on the Steve Stone stuff where people are just trying to get blocked. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's dumb.
But too much about Lurie and where he's batting
it's just
and Tony La Russa's
too much La Russa.
and
too
much
yeah.
a lot.
Like, come on, guys, we're more creative than that. We're more creative.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
That's part of the great part about the Sox Twitter is like, we see the obvious stuff going on, but the obvious stuff we'll hit on. But like, let's get into some of the more niche and funnier stuff. So that's why you don't get an A. But I'm giving him a B. You give him a C. That's fine.
Okay.
Where you at,
want
MSS, on that?
Yeah,
do you want me to give my grade for White Sox Twitter?
Sure, baby. Yes.
So I'm going to do something I've wanted to do to White Sox Twitter for a long time. Give them all the D. Because they got a D this year, my man. I am not even fucking kidding. I was so tired of the incessant complaining of the manager. When I was just listening to everyone in 2021 say Tony La Russa has no business, has no bearing on why this team has won the division by 10 games. He has nothing to do with this. And then to come into 2022 and say this is all Tony La Russa's fault, and I'm like, listen, I am not a Tony La Russa apologist. I am not somebody that sits here and grandstands for him. I don't think he's that important. I don't think the manager is that important.
I was gonna say, honestly, as a podcast, we're pretty much like, Tony kind of stinks. Like,
I don't really care, but like, don't fucking tell me it's raining and piss on me. Don't say it matters in one case, but it doesn't matter in the other. That bothers me. It questions my intelligence. And listen, a lot of people can question my intelligence, especially with long and short vowels. But like, you cannot question my intelligence when it comes to baseball and this particular point. Okay,
SPF's taking back your Father of the Year award. You're in big trouble.
I can't take this. I'm not going to sit here and allow White Sox Twitter to make the joke that sells. And I understand why people do it. They do it because they get the likes. They get people to jump on their side. Yeah. But it's not fucking clever. It's not good. It's just what you were saying, Treasy. You kind of stepped on my thunder. That's fine. But I am just kind of upset that you're taking the low route. Like, give me something. And I know I put out a tweet and it got 6 likes because I didn't say, suck my balls, La Russa. I said, hey, when the season is over, I want to stop hearing Tony sucks, hire somebody good, and put in a fucking thought on how you would improve this fucking team. Don't tell me it's bad and not give me a reason why, like how to fix it. And that's the thing. And that's like something that I think the 108 has always done. We never offer the problem without a solution. We never say, hey, this sucks. They should fix it. We always say, yeah, this sucks. But you know who they should have signed or who they could have signed or who they could have, whatever. I get so tired of people just taking the easy fucking bullshit way out.
I like,
and they shouldn't.
Yeah. No, I
like it.
I like what you're saying.
We're better than that.
The comments are beating on you like you like La Russa. I know you don't at all. Like you're talking about creativity. You're talking about creativity.
I would love to have Rick Renteria still here.
Like calling him Ken WO and stuff. It's that like
that's right.
You guys are more creative than just having like this is all Tony's fault thoughts. Like, it's not. And he sucks. Like, these can both be true, right? Yeah. Like, just like Lurie Garcia. Lurie Garcia was horrible this year. It's not Lurie Garcia's fault the offense sucked. It's the guys that were supposed to hit all the home runs that's their fault. But I do want to say that I did learn another thing during MSS's little rant here. We know he's pro cannibal, but now we also know that he's anti golden shower, which is equally surprising.
I can't believe that. Wow.
All right, so for my C, I don't look. Speaking of taking things the wrong way, I don't want you in the comments to think that I'm throwing shade at My Sox Summer with this. All right,
here it is. Oh boy.
But I'm giving my C to 108 merch this season. Is it?
It's mostly me. That's my
It was a mediocre output.
We did bad.
And
Yes.
here's the thing, Beef. I'm not talking about sales.
No.
Right? And I know you had a shirt that bombed. All right.
Yeah.
It happens. Happens to the best.
2
of
shirts
us.
that bombed. Yeah.
Whatever.
2 shirts that bombed.
No one's counting. But what
I am.
But what
You know what? I
wanna-
created the 108 tourney, you cocksucker.
I think that no. Beef.
Not you. I'm talking MSS. I've
guys
never
are
talked to
taking
you
it
that
wrong.
way, Teresa.
You guys are taking it wrong. I like the shirts that we put out.
Yeah.
I don't think we put out enough stuff, and a lot of the stuff that I wanted to put out, and I didn't pound down the door to get those things put out like I did for the Halloween shirt.
Yeah.
And we
and
missed
Southside shirt, which killed too.
We didn't do a tank top. We didn't do a new hat.
Yeah.
We didn't do some other things that me and MSS are still talking about, so I'm not going to throw them out there just yet.
Yeah.
But we missed on a lot of those, and I fucked up the one deal that I was trying to get going, and so I think overall the shirts that we did save it from being a D. So it just keeps it from being a D. I think the GFY shirt is one of my favorite shirts, man. I love that shirt.
Yeah, you and me and
The Jason shirt, the Jason shirt we just did. The Saturday Nights Are for the Wives. I like all these shirts. I just think we didn't do enough of this other stuff, and we rolled into fall, no hoodies. Just
That's true. We have done a few hoodies.
We got to take some criticism too.
You're right. No,
right? When we fumble at the 1 yard line, we got to take it on the chin. And so I'm giving us a C on the 108 merch.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think if we were doing personal grades, I would get a D because I underperform. Usually I'm an idea guy.
You just always want the D.
My idea was
that's a different thing.
and you don't want to let me have it. That's you're stingy. That's what it is.
That's why you
He's your
hate Brett
brother.
Favre so much.
Peace out, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, take care, bro.
I you know what? And Teresa, I'll say this. It's been hard, right? We've had some shirts in stock, right, which have been good sellers usually, and those weren't moving. And I was on the fence on a lot of stuff because I was just and I know we're doing it a different way, right? We're doing pre-orders, and I probably shouldn't have been that way, right? We should have not just said, hey, I'm not going to produce anything because I'm afraid that it won't sell. But people just were not buying stuff this year. And I think it's mostly due to the White Sox. The White Sox sucking ass does not get people excited.
Don't blame Tony La Russa for this.
I'm not blaming him.
Come on, Justin, you're better than that.
but I also think that when we came down, we talked about the Halloween shirt. And Brewhand Luke was like, hey, we should do this. You guys should make a Halloween shirt. And you were like, I've been trying to get them to make a Halloween shirt for 2 years, and we've never done it. And so I took a concept that usually sells, which is our 108 logo, and I mixed it with the concept that you wanted to do, which was horror, So we were like, okay. So and it worked out really well, and it sold great. So it wasn't. Hey, listen. It's not Southside Irish. It's not 108 Irish logo. Trust me. But it was a really good it was a good sales.
It was.
So we'll take that. But yeah, no, I'll take that. I'll take that D. I know your brother would like it more than me.
I give you a C. I gave you a C, but I'm gonna.
I'm sorry. That's right, because I fucked up. I'm sorry.
Let's get into the D's then.
Well, I already did my D, so you guys can do your D. My D was for White Sox Twitter.
Oh, that was already your D. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's my D.
Okay, well, I'll give you a D.
Give him the D.
This was almost an F, and that is the in-seat food delivery.
Oh, they still had that this year?
I got my order one time actually this season. That's what saved them from it being an F. One time, Guernsey ordered. The person came all the way down to the row, looked at her, and then walked back up and didn't give her the food. It is an atrocious service. It is it shouldn't even be there. Everyone just does it and then gets their money back the next day.
Yeah,
because it's never delivered. And the selection fucking sucks.
It sucks. There's almost nothing.
It's would you like a hot dog, $40 popcorn, or a Corona? This is all we have. We're out of everything. This is all the stadium has to offer, obviously. So, MSS, to your point, we are not a podcast that's just going to rail on you. We're going to give you a solution. And I think this could go across the whole goddamn MLB because it looks like it's in the ballpark app. So it's probably something that a lot of different places do. Stop counting on the ballpark app for this bullshit because the ballpark app sucks. All right.
It doesn't suck, but that's part sucks.
A lot of it sucks. It's pretty mediocre. I'll give that a C- for the ballpark app. It freezes up on me like every game. So what they need to do is we're gonna offer this. Why don't you just partner with like Uber Eats or Instacart or something, right, and use their technology to handle all this shit? It would be so much better, especially if you had like dedicated lines for this, like so that someone could just go over and pick up the thing that you ordered and they just go around the stadium and come and bring you your food. It would absolutely be quicker than whatever they're doing now because it never gets there. So showing up at any time in the game with my food would be better than what happens now.
So let me ask you, because I don't know, because I don't eat at the park very much, and if I do eat, I go over to the Buena Beef stand and I hit up my girl Shirley, who also works in the Goose Island in Section 108 over at United Center. So if you're at the United Center watching the Bulls, the Hawks, go check out Shirley. Say you're a big 108 fan. She might give you a sample of some meats. You know, she's got some good meats back there. Anyway, they don't do the thing where you can order.
Big Montana.
Can you order on your phone and then go to the stand and pick it up? Did they do that?
Yeah, they have that too. Yeah,
you can, but it's still the same selection.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can at least go and still get it. And you don't have to
I will go get my hot dog.
So if there's like,
it's pointless.
All right,
it's
all right, I get.
I agree with Tracy. Like if you order it within the first if the game starts within the first 20 minutes of the game starting, you got a good chance of getting your food. Anytime after that, you don't know if it's coming or not. And it was absolutely ridiculous. And you think it's something so easy, Treasy. Like it happens everywhere else. Like how do they not know how to do it here? Like it's bizarre. Like you're saying, like it's inexcusable that it's so horrible.
Yes, it's wild that it's this bad.
I'm going to blame people that don't tip. So this is all directly Wally Money's fault. He does not know how to tip. The man is a known not good tipper. So, yeah, it's all Wally Money's fault for this.
No, but MSS, you tip through the app. It's already tipped. It's already tipped on. Like, I mean, like, there's no excuse for how shitty this service is. Like, it's an unbelievable. Like people have been delivering pizzas for fucking 90 years, man. Like it's incredible that they can't get this right. And it's not like they're like, oh, well, we don't have enough people because we're sending everyone out as vendors. There's one hot dog vendor a game. Like, so
always at the end of the year, there's 100 vendors. I don't understand this. Like literally,
no one's here now.
I have not seen a beer vendor or a Vizzy vendor. You know, like I have not seen those guys all year. And then the last 6 games we went to, there's a beer vendor every fucking inning. Why? Like, I mean, come on, guys. Like, you weren't here all year, and now all of a sudden we're going to buy from you? Get up.
K-Dog says that's probably why they had Scabby the Rat outside the stadium. And then I'm not reading this comment, but I just want to put up there for you guys to make sure you noticed it.
Give me your pick for a D.
A D. All right. This pains me to give this man a D because I love this guy. He and I both big cat guys. But Lucas Giolito's getting my D, man. And the only reason he's not getting an F, he had a terrible year, but he did make 30 starts. And he was at least kind of reliable, dependable that he would go out there and take the ball. The results were not what we were looking for at all. And it was like a major regression from a guy who was one of our top starters, for the past several years. I mean, as a guy you're leaning on, and we talked about it earlier with the Ethan Caps talk, like it was weird to see the regression. I don't know exactly what the problems are there. I mean, I think in a couple weeks we're going to have Jordan Lazowski on to break down kind of his thoughts on Lucas Giolito because it's like one of his favorite players. I do know, though, that Rick Giolito, Lucas's dad, DM'd me the other day and said Lucas is going to be just fine. He's going to come back great next year. So so it's a D, but I'm encouraged.
I believe
Lucas is going to come back great because when Rick tells me some shit, I have to listen because he told me that shit about Dylan Cease, and I laughed right in his face. And of course, he was right. Dylan Cease is probably going to finish top 3 for Cy Young this year. So the man knows what he's talking about.
Dylan Cease is going to make some real paper if he finishes top 2.
That's the thing. That's the deal, right? And Lucas is going into he's going to an RB year this year, right? And then he's got to have to get a new contract the next year.
Yeah, that's right.
I hope he comes back and makes some noise. And then Rick was touting that he was going to have a third pitch, and I know, and like we didn't get it. So we'll see.
All right, MSS, it's time.
Oh boy,
give us your F. I think we might have the same F. I think we
all have the same F, and like. My F is going to go to game day security, and most like notably the people that are getting people into the park. Now,
yeah, I have lines of entry for my F. I'm with you here.
I mean, the same deal. I would gladly say, listen, they didn't know that this was going to happen. They knew this was going to happen. It happened last year. It was a fucking atrocious. It was horrible. Like, you need to learn how to get people into your park. This year. Nothing. Like they're like, hey, guess what? This is a problem. And they're like, oh, how are we going to solve it? And they're like, I have no idea. We're not doing anything different to make any type of difference. Because
maybe it'll solve itself.
They said they did The Simpsons. We tried nothing, and we're all out of ideas.
We walked in the other day, and a guy that was standing on the side of the road, and he was a Sox, he was telling us not to cross 35th Street. He's like, don't go over there. The lines are really long. You need to go get in the long-ass line at gate 5 to get in. No giveaway. The game has started. We're in the second inning, and there's a fucking line halfway around. The guy says then after we're like, yeah, we're still going to go over there. He goes, yeah, all you people just decide to show up at the same time. No, dumb fuck. There's goddamn lines every fucking game.
Hey, pal, this is when the event starts.
Right.
And every other stadium is fine with this. Every other stadium does this fine.
Well, there's only been one other stadium that has been just as bad, and it was Milwaukee. Milwaukee, it had something going on or whatever.
So I'm going to give them a break because once we got past that line over to the other side, it was fine. And it was because that line at that particular gate, the machines were broken.
Yeah, malfunctioned. Yeah, so it backed up, and we didn't know to go around.
If that happened once this year for the Sox, I'd be like,
right,
oh, shit.
Right.
I'm not. That's not their problem. That's not their fault.
But, Treasy, my only thing was
I malfunction every game.
No, I just wanted to – no, the Sox are horrible. Sox are horrible at getting people into the park.
Yeah.
And I think part of the problem is what that guy told me was like, well, it's just people are showing all up at the same time. Do you think that people stagger their entry at Wrigley Field? No, they don't stagger their entry there. They'll fucking show up when the game. Oh shit, the game's starting. I better slam this fucking 32-ounce Bud Light at Sluggers and then fucking go get in line. And like when there's no giveaway and there's a line of like 400, 500 people and the game has already started, that's a problem. When I come with my daughter, both my daughters yesterday. The season's over. We're in the 4th or 5th inning. They shut down all of the scanners except for one. So I waited in line for 5 minutes to get in, and it's the 5th inning. I don't understand what's happening here. It's frustrating, and it doesn't work. Whatever we're doing doesn't work. Can we get the people that are scamming people for parking to can take over the doors? Because they seem to get people to come in and park, and they're probably making a good amount of money. Because if we all know if a scam doesn't work, people don't support it. So they supported the parking scammers for 2 years. So let's get those guys in charge of fucking getting people in the park, because you can't just say it doesn't work. These people are showing up wrong. No, you need to figure out the solution, regardless of how people show up, and get it right. Parking is abysmal. It's horrible. It's so horrible, but I'm going to give them a pass on that. I'm going to go focus on getting people in the park. It's horrible.
And MSS,
that's my F.
Let's talk about fixing it then. So, because again, we're not here to just rag on them. Let's try and fix it. And so here's a few fixes that I've got that we could get into.
Okay.
Fix number 1. You got 2 gate 3s, which is ridiculous already.
Yep.
And then there's a big part in the middle that is just a gigantic fence.
Yep.
Rip that shit out.
Yep.
And make that all lines. You get so many more people in. And if you're like, oh man, how are they going to get more security? There are more fucking security guards blocking the entrance to the stadium club. You would think I was trying to get into the thing in Eyes Wide Shut, like the fuck party in Eyes Wide Shut. You'd think that I'm trying to get into that. There's so many people there to stop me from getting through the thing that I have tickets for. And so, like, move some of those guys over to that gate, make that gate more wide open, and then guess what? You don't have enough people to take tickets? Well, bring the fuckers down that are trying to keep you from getting into the 100 level like it's fucking Fort Knox. Like, get rid of that. Get rid of those things and then open that gate wide open. You will push way more people through. And guess what happens when people get in there? They buy your shit, man.
They spend money. They spend money
in there. You know the thing? Here's another thing. They used to let people go from Shy Sox Bar directly into the stadium.
Yep.
Right? And you scan your ticket, go in there. MSS, that's how, when we went to see Pearl Jam up at Wrigley, that's what we did. We went into the bar, and then we went through. It was way quicker. That's another thing they got to reopen. Yeah. And then the other thing is Gate 1, which they only use for patio parties, which is ridiculous. It's a fucking gate to let people in. Make that a season ticket holder entrance, right? Like, so if the gates are long, I got my season ticket holder entrance, I'm going to walk all the way over there. That breaks off another chunk of people in case there are lines.
Yep.
That shit would fix it.
No, go ahead.
No, that was the end of my rant.
I got one more for you. Treasy, and it's they use the technology at Wrigley. That's why MSS was talking about it, is they have the scanners there. You don't take anything out of your fucking pockets.
No.
You walk in there, and it's like a second, and you go and you scan your ticket, and you're gone. That's why they never have any fucking lines. You go there, and they got 35,000 people at at 1 o'clock game on a Wednesday. There's no lines. You show up again. There's no fucking line. You might wait 2 seconds to get in there. Like, maybe there's 5 people in front of you, and it moves fast. They have a desire to get you in there, to have you spend some money. Like, that's, like the White Sox, I don't know why they don't have that desire.
Well, no, here's the cardinal difference between the White Sox and the Cubs in this regard. The White Sox or the Cubs will spend money to make money. The White Sox will not spend money to make money. They're going to cut why am I waiting in line on the last game of the year because they only went down to 1 scanner? And no one is out telling people hey, get all the metal out of your pockets. I understand that people should fucking understand this because you're going to go through a scanner, but you need people out there telling people get your keys out, get this out, do this, whatever, do that. Because every time I walk into White Sox Park, there's 4 people working the front, and there's 27 people that are supervisors behind everybody else.
Yep. And
I need those people out of behind the fucking gate and telling people where to go, what to do, all this kind of shit. Because it's not working anymore. You have a lot of supervisors that have no fucking authority, that have nothing. And I think I've talked about this, in person. I think I talked about it on the podcast when I was leaving because I locked my poor wife out of the house and had to go home to get out there. The lady's like, hey, I go, can I get scanned out? And she's like, no, you can't get scanned out because you can't get scanned out anymore. I'm like, okay, well, I have to go. She's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going home to unlock the door for my wife so she can get in the house, and I'm coming back. So then I have to buy another ticket. She goes, well, maybe we can talk about it. I'm like, you just told me I can't come back. Right. So what's the fucking point? I don't understand. That angered me. And she was like, well, if you would calm down, sir. Maybe we can work it out. And I was like, you just told me it's not a fucking option, and it's just that bothers me. It's just come on, let's get it together. And I understand why. And I think one of the solutions, Chirizi, pay these people $1 more an hour. Whatever minimum wage, give them $1 more an hour. Fucking goddamn In-N-Out Burger pays above minimum wage out on the West Coast. They have the best service, the best fucking people out there because they pay their fucking people some money. Spend some money to make some fucking good people happy. Because if you show up at a fucking park and you get right the fuck in, and then you spend all that extra money, you're buying $22 fucking pretzels with cheese sauce, you're going to make the money back in fucking tenfold. I've never understood I'm not going to spend money to make money. I don't get it. So yeah, no, it's just, it's cheap, and it should not be this way. It should not be this way. It should be something that's special. You get one person there for one fucking game a year, and you're gonna lose them because they had to wait 37 minutes to park their car and then get into the goddamn game, and it's the third fucking inning. So
Baloney says MSS gonna fight this lady like the dude in Minnesota bathroom.
No, she was.
His dong was out in both cases.
It was cool, but what I was really pissed off about was that I had just gotten a Jack Daniels and lemonade from one of our guys, and I was drinking it, and then I got the call, and I was already pissed at myself because I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. You walked out of the house and you locked the door. Your kids are right there, like you're not even thinking. And so I locked the door, and they're like, you got to come back. And I had to. So I was like, well, hey, can you just scan me out? Because I have to go let my wife in the house. We're like, oh, no, we can't scan you out. And then later it's like, well, if we talk about it, maybe I can scan you out. Well, what the fuck? Like, just tell me. Like, if you can or you can't.
Beef, I figured I'm changing my grade from an F. The SOC security would be able to get people through way quicker if there weren't people like MSS clogging up the lines arguing about his reentry.
No.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
The game has already started when this happened.
I want to hear what well, you people all show up at the same time. I want to hear what Beef has for his F.
This was a tough one because I wanted to put Joe Kelly in this spot. I wanted to put Lurie Garcia in this spot. Cliff Livingston. I wanted to put Yaz in this spot, but I realized all those things lead back to one single man who's pissed me off more than anyone else in this organization. I wrote a blog about him this week about the 3 trade deadlines, how he blew 2 of them in our contention window, just like lack of understanding maybe of the marketplace, or just maybe didn't give a fuck. I'm not sure, but that's Rick Hahn. Rick Hahn is pissing me off more than anything else in this entire organization. I think partially because of the certain fan treatment of like it's never his fault for anything, but also the way he comes out and talks to the media after all the shit has hit the fan, and how he's like, no, I wouldn't fire myself. Obviously, we a couple years ago we were up for awards. It's like, dude, the world moves fast. It's 2 years since then. Your team fucking sucks. You didn't do anything to improve this team at the deadline or in the off season. Like what balls on this guy? You got to be impressed with Teflon Hahn, the balls that he has to be able to go out in front of people and like be that smug. It's like either he just has no concept of kind of really what's going on, or he just realizes I'm unfireable. Fuck it. I'll just do whatever I want, But either way, he's the one who's driving me. And this is a big offseason for the White Sox in this contention window here. And like, he's going to need to thread a needle here. He's going to need to be great in this offseason. And this 2022 season, he's an F grade. So he's got to rebound.
First, cheers to Svo.
Thanks, Doughboy. Appreciate it.
Thank you for that,
dude. You're my sleeper pick to win this whole fucking 108.
And I cannot give a recap of the 108 weight loss challenge DM thread. That's
DMs
we keep that
not for everybody.
Not happening.
That's why
not happening. Missy can make a fucking TikTok about it. We'll be good to go.
Beef, I'm feeling this, right? Because who goes out and says, hey, if I didn't think I was doing a good job, I would just step aside. No, you wouldn't. No one would do that.
No.
No one who's like people who make millions of dollars certainly wouldn't do that. Like Rick Hahn, and people who make very little money would also not do that. This is a human trait. And you know who said it the best, Beef? George Carlin. And the problem is no one tells people that they're losers anymore. Someone needs to go to his desk and say, clear out your shit, Rick. You're a loser.
You're a loser,
Rick. Get the fuck out of here.
This is the way it works. I mean, like we were talking about it. Someone brought it up at the ballpark. I think it was Mr. Handy. Had heard on 6-7 the score. Someone's like, is he like the most, they used the term overqualified person doing one of these jobs. And Josh Nelson's like, what do you mean by overqualified? And Mr. Hand's like, I think they mean like the education, but you know what? The education doesn't mean anything when you're in a competitive market, in a competitive field. Sometimes you just suck at it. You could have all the degrees you want and just stink at this one particular thing that you're supposed to be doing. And that's what we're kind of seeing in front of us. Like there was no additions that really, buoyed the team. I mean, you did get the Johnny Cueto, lucky kind of after the season, and you got like the Elvis Andrus scraps, but the rest of it, like, geez, like what are we doing here?
You can't give him that much credit for Cueto and Andrus when those guys, when Lynn got hurt, everyone was saying go get Johnny Cueto. And when I say everyone, I even said it. If
They chose Vince Velasquez
right
to have him in camp before they chose Johnny Cueto. So that's all you need to know.
And the Elvis Andrus thing, again, he became available, and everyone's like, this is a perfect fit because your shortstop's hurt. You should just go out and get this guy for minimum salary.
It's obvious,
and
right?
it's an obvious thing, and you did it. So good on doing the obvious thing. But, like, I mean, if you're going to be like, well, he's an almost award-winning GM, and that's the best part. It's the for your consideration
at the table
where it's like
you're on the program.
They were Oscar noteworthy, but they didn't even get the nomination, right? Like, so that's where we're at with this, and we're going like that's like home for Purim is what he's laying his all of his fucking career on. Ridiculous.
I think that you need to judge him more harshly for a Joe Kelly than you need to judge him for like a Craig Kimbrell, right? Like he took a chance. He took a chance on Craig, and it turned out awful.
Yeah,
like it was horrible. Like that's
and I have that on my blog. He was aggressive and I like that. I like that deadline right there.
And I don't want him to stop taking chances.
I want him to be more aggressive. Yeah,
but I also don't want him to sign an injured guy and think, hey, this guy's probably going to fix it, and then not sign a fucking right fielder that we need every motherfucking day. You know, like come on. So no, I agree with you. I think Rick Hahn is probably a great person. You know, and I think he's probably very smart. He's probably as smart as Teresa. But it's just like he is just not – I don't know the whole story, and I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to say Jerry's cheap because he wasn't cheap. They put the money out this year. It was spent unwisely, and we knew it, and and listen, if I know it and I'm a fucking idiot, everyone knows it, okay? Because this is like – we knew this was not – going into the season, we're like, this is a little short. This is a little short, and we're probably not going to get what we want here, and we didn't. So I know it all shook out where it was just bad. So fucking motherfucker. I take take that.
Now that we're all depressed talking about that F, now you got to listen to Beeflo for 51 seconds.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on a live stream right now and haven't subscribed, make sure you tickle the undercarriage of that subscribe button and get on board. If you've already subscribed and are watching the show, talking smack about MSS's internet and generally meat gazing at Teresa E and I, please smash that like button in the face. If you are listening on the podcast feed and have never enjoyed the eroticism that is the YouTube version of this show, come to youtube.com/FromThe108 and hit that subscribe button. Our previous goal was 1,000 subscribers. We're currently at 1,100 plus. That's going to allow us to make minimum wage for about 1 hour per month if we do a full podcast schedule. You just can't beat that. So get your friends, your family, your dog, everyone to subscribe and allow the 108 to fulfill the dream of becoming YouTube thousandaires. I love you.
All right. Beef, we're a little bit past the 1100. We gotta re-record that.
Yeah,
buddy,
we gotta.
Well,
I'm totally right about that.
You gotta.
Billy Wires does like the sweater though, the fucking sweater man. No. I'll rewrite it.
Send me some notes. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's time for some more White Sox talk here, guys. So TLR is out. He's retired. I wish him very well with his health. It's
peace, bro.
The fact that there's like a second thing going on with him makes me really worried about what could be going on. So I genuinely hope that he's okay. I don't have any ill will against him as a human being. Didn't like him as a manager. Not so much. And now we're going to replace him. And I think you guys are going to be bombarded with a lot of blogs and podcasts that are going to talk about which specific guy out there they want to manage the team. And these guys, a lot of the people that are going to do this, they pay attention to these things. They look at who the other coaches are on these other teams, and they get in deep with that and think about that at length. We don't. I don't give a fuck who the bench coach is in some other team. I'm really not paying attention.
I mean, I could look them up, but I have no idea what they do. So
and I have no idea what they've done in their lives, right? Like I could be telling you, like, oh, this guy's the best, and then he's like Reese McGuiring in a parking lot somewhere. I have no idea. I cannot tell you what particular person I want. But what we can do is give you an idea of the type of person that we want, like an idea of the person that we want. And what better way to do that than to describe someone from a television show or a movie that we would say, I want this guy to manage the White Sox. And don't get it messed up. I'm not saying a baseball manager. It doesn't have to be Lou Brown.
Oh, no.
This is anyone. Anybody. From a television show or a movie. And I'm going to start with MSS because I want to see if he goes regular movie or adult.
So actually, Herschel Savage.
I need a cockstrong guy.
Herschel Savage would be a great player. Definitely just his tenacity and his what is the word?
You want him on the team. You want him on the team, but he's not your manager.
He's not your manager necessarily because he's not the best looking guy. Mike, the first person I'm going to go with, and this is going to be a little odd, and I know you're not going to like this, Chirizi, because it might be one of your guys that you picked, and it's kind of a sleeper pick, but Mr. Burns. I'm going to take Mr. Burns, and this is why I'm picking Mr. Burns. Right. No, he's not the greatest person to work for. No, he isn't probably the best boss that you've ever had. But when they fucking had to field a softball team, Mr. Burns went out and spent all the money in the world to get the best softball team, but still kept Homer on the team because he was kind of pretty good. So I need a guy that's going to come in, and I think Mr. Burns would do this, come in and say, listen, Jerry, you motherfucker, spend the goddamn money, and I'm going to give you good results. And that I think that's what he needs. I think Jerry needs a shake of the cage and say, listen, I'm going to make this happen. Just let me fucking do it. And so we're going to have, in no time, all these great players that are playing for our team, just like Mr. Burns had on the company softball team.
All right.
What do you think, Breezy?
I like it, but I think for GM, I'm more good. Or owner. I'd like him as the owner.
Oh, yeah.
As the owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted
it might
to
be a little bit of a
though.
stretch. It might be a little bit of a stretch, but like
someone put Baloney put Winston Wolf for manager. I looked at that, but I remembered Beef Loaf already wrote a blog about that. So Baloney drink.
Hello.
But MSS, if we were picking a new manager, I don't know how we don't go with Mr. Burns. Just seems perfect
owner
for that.
Right?
Owner. New owner. New manager.
Or
I'm not so much.
Well, no, the manager thing, I kind of see it, but we just dumped a manager who's of tremendous age. And right. Mr. Burns, he's near death as well. I don't know if we want to go down that path. That's where you got a little dangerous there. You kind of went back to the same well a little bit with the age thing. I don't know. I mean,
one of mine is very old.
Is
one of mine is very
immortal?
old. One of mine is very old. I'll tell you that.
All right.
Okay. Beef. Who's your first pick?
All right. So for me, I had to pick, the television manager first. He's a guy who's used to dealing with chaos. He really gets his hands in there. And although they goof on him in the show, he's an idiot, which he is. He's actually a really good manager of people. And that's Michael Scott. Steve Carell in The Office. I would put a guy like that in there because he is extremely hands-on. This team needs a guy who's hands-on, but not necessarily. I heard Liam say they need a dictator or something. I don't think that's correct. I think what he means to say is they need someone who's very hands-on and enthusiastic and wants to be the manager person, wants to be kind of in there with the guys. And Michael Scott is always all the way in there, and he does tons of dumb stuff, but you add the levity of what he does and the amount he cares, and I think that's a winning formula.
Beef, I love later in the show when Jim becomes like the everyday manager.
Yeah.
And he kind of he's like, Michael's like, don't do that. Like, you don't want to do that. And he's just like, it just all seems insane what Michael's doing. And it's like, sometimes you just got to be insane to think about it. And it reminds me of Ozzie Guillen. Ozzie Guillen had a team that his stars did not want to talk to the media. Like Mark Burley and Paul Konerko had no interest in talking to the media, being in front of the spotlight, doing any of that shit. So Ozzie was very out there to the point where you're like, what the fuck is Ozzie doing? Why is he doing shit like this? And it's all, I'm just keeping it off of these guys. Right. Yeah, I'm keeping the attention off of these guys because they don't want it.
It's a technique.
Right? And so, like, I like where you're going with the Michael Scott. I thought about Michael Scott. I went in a different direction, though. But I'll let MSS talk about your Michael Scott pick first.
Well, I've never seen an episode of The Office, so I don't even know who Michael Scott is. I mean, I know who he is because he's Steve Carell.
The memes and everything.
Yeah. He's a 40-year-old virgin, and he runs an office. But I don't know, like, the show. So, Terezi, the floor is yours, my friend.
So I'm going with this guy first. I'm going with Joe Clark from Lean On Me.
Yes.
You know why?
Great call.
Because we don't want a good manager. We want Mr. Clark. All right.
Yes.
He's kind of the guy we need. He takes zero shit. He communicates his message very clearly. He could take down a dude with a knife if necessary. I don't know how often that happens. However, there's a downside to Mr. Clark coming in. He does like to chain the doors. And that's going to be a problem at the Craft Cave. We're not getting the Craft Cave door open if Mr. Clark is in charge. He doesn't like the bad element that's going to be seeping down into the Craft Cave if we have that door open. So I think we get enough good to take that bad, but there is a downside. I don't want to sell this like it's perfect.
Listen, I don't know how drunk I am, but didn't Brian say goodbye like about a half hour?
He did, and now he's back to say that Joe Clark carried a bat. Yeah, he used to be called Crazy Joe, and then they called him Batman. Yeah, I remember that.
All right.
Get Crazy Joe on his jersey.
And also, Brian, no, I do not watch Kojak. I watch Columbo. Thank you. I like trench coats. I like trench coats on my old, retirement.
I don't think we need to go in this direction at all right now.
I mean, we already talked about you having your dong out, and now you're going this way. Okay.
Pro cannibal.
I mean, totally secured below my leg. Thank you.
Secured below the knee right now.
Oh boy!
See, that's what.
Oh boy! Now I've lost track. I don't even know whose turn it is. I'm just gonna give it. I'm just gonna give it back to MSS to give me your second pick.
Okay, so this is a hard one because I have two people that I think are like perfect to like bring in. I'm gonna go with something that like as someone who I don't know if like everybody knows, but she was like a very tough person. She's ruthless. She does what's best for the club. And that's Gemma Teller Morrow. So if you've ever watched Sons of Anarchy, she is Peggy Bundy.
Peggy Bundy.
Now,
she's hot. I know that. I've never watched Sons of Anarchy, but I know she's hot.
She has never lost her fastball loaf. You are totally correct.
Oh, man.
But in this show, she was married to the head of the gang. Okay, listen, if you haven't seen Sons of Anarchy, Sons of Anarchy, shut this shit off right now because you don't want to hear it because I'm going to do some spoilers.
22 years
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they haven't had a new episode in probably 9 years. So, like, if you haven't watched the whole episode, all the shit, fuck you. So, not only was she married to the original head of the gang, when this other guy killed the head of the gang, she married that guy because she's that down for the club. And that's what we need. We need somebody that's down for the White Sox. Listen, you see your son straying off with some girl that's going to take him out of the drug cartel club life. What you got to do? You got to kill that bitch. And that's what Gemma did. She killed one person that her son loved because he needs to be in the club and stay in the misery. So listen, I can't think of somebody else who could take it all to heart and be like, listen, this is do or die. This is it. So Gemma, you are my pick to pick the White Sox, go manage the White Sox.
MSS.
Yeah.
I love that pick.
Thank you.
And here's why I love it. Because if you watch the show, she's not one of the main players. She's not on the field. She's not doing that stuff. But she is very much the motivator. She's very much in, and Lucille Bluth is a good call from Brian. Is similar, is where she's not actually in charge of anything, but she's running shit. Right. She's motivating people to do things just by her will, right? Yep. And I one is hilarious and one is fucking terrifying, but both are very very good at what they do. So I'm with you on this one, MSS. I love it.
Thank you. I thought it was a good pick. I thought it was a deep pick. Not everybody would get it, but Thank you. I appreciate that.
Beef, much like MSS watching The Office, I know you've never seen this shit, so I'll just go to you for your.
I've not seen it. You're absolutely correct. My next pick is is a guy who knows how to deal with tons of bureaucracy and bullshit. Who knows how to navigate a system that is working against him with a bunch of people backstabbing each other, much like the White Sox front office ownership structure. And that's Jay Landsman from The Wire, played by Delaney Williams. I think a manager like that who realizes that everyone above him is trying not to get blame and trying to get credit, knows how to maneuver around those guys and sort of protect his people. And that's what he kind of did in the entire show. He was good at moving around and appeasing when he needed to kind of keep everyone kind of clear of that. So I think that's the type of manager that would work really well for the White Sox.
I love it. I feel like you could pick 25 different people from The Wire for different reasons.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Even the bad ones.
Argue against this one.
Yeah. Even the bad ones in The Wire would still get shit done.
Which side is the bad ones?
Well, I mean,
yeah, it's tough. It's tough sometimes.
That's how I always think of The Wire. I don't know which side's the bad side.
I mean, no, but even like, so Herc is Herc the bad cop? He's the bad cop, right?
He's a knucklehead. Yeah,
he can figure some shit out though. Like he could probably get us some like good players, like just to come in. Like he could do these things. So even like he's not good, and he's definitely bad. But he could definitely get people in.
We're gonna get Ziggy though. So I mean,
hello, big bad on him.
Another BWC.
That's right.
All right, Beef. For mine, I don't know that you're gonna like this because this guy is old. This guy he's a little bit old.
Yep.
I got to go with something I love. I got to go Star Wars. I'm gonna go Emperor Palpatine.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
God.
Guy runs a fucking galaxy. All right. And no one questions if this motherfucker's in charge. All right. He is in charge.
Everyone knows exactly.
I can kill you.
No ass.
Yeah, he's like,
Darth Vader's your bench coach. Yes, I want some of this. But here's the thing. Here's why I like it is there's a scene in I think it's in Return of the Jedi, if I remember correctly, and Darth Vader shows up and he's trying to get these motherfuckers to build the Death Star quicker. And they're like, I don't know how we're going to do this. And he said, the Emperor's going to be here. And they said, we're going to double our efforts. If this motherfucker can make everyone double their efforts, like half the guys on the team hit 30 home runs. It'd be beautiful.
We're back, baby.
And like, sure, they're building a planet-killing weapon, right? But
yeah,
I think going for the World Series is equally admirable.
Just turn the White Sox into that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We'll go with that.
Yeah, so I'm all for it. I think that he would definitely get everyone in line, and he would. I mean, like, you see all these people out on Twitter complaining about people not hustling. You're gonna hustle for that guy.
Yeah, you are, because you're gonna get shocked if you don't. Shocked.
That shit looks painful.
Makata misses an easy ground ball. Shocked. Probably would have done wonders for like Joe Creedy's back though if he got that electrotherapy. Like they go shocked. And he'd be like, oh, now I'm good. I'm gonna hit a home run now.
I think that's how it works. That looks not painful at all.
Trezo, you want to dump lists or you want to just get the fuck out of here?
I only got one more.
Feel free to dump list. I don't have any other ones.
I got one more. So
actually, I had one more. I had one more that I thought about.
Drop it.
And I thought about this because I was like, I need someone who's going to like. I feel like the players got pulled in a lot of different directions this year. And like they just need someone to like simply explain how to do something that is actually complicated. And so I thought Jaime Escalante would be a good pick.
Ah, I like that one. That's a good call. Absolutely. Latino also can communicate well with the player. Yeah,
exactly.
I like that choice. MSS, what's your extra one, baby?
Now my other one is also a female. Mr. Burns was my only male pick. Joan Holloway from the show Mad Men. She is the big-breasted woman.
That's what's
Christina
Hendricks.
Yes, Christina Hendricks. Did she sleep her way to the top? Yes. But when she got to the top, she knew how to do the job, and she got what she needed out of the people that were there. She does not fuck around. She knows how to get what she needs to do. She's a single mom. She has a delinquent husband that does not pay child support. She knows how to fucking make shit happen. That's what we need. The same fucking kind of deal. Same with Gemma, minus the killing. Like, we're going to fucking have a person that could come in and just like fucking take care of business. That's what we need. We need somebody that's strong, that's going to talk to Jerry, because you know what? They'll say this all day. You'll hear this. Oh, Jerry knows what he wants and blah, blah, blah. No, Jerry doesn't know what he wants until he's sold what he wants. And you tell him what you want, and then he'll make it happen. So you need a strong person back there. You don't be like, yeah, Jerry, what do you think? Oh, Liam Hendricks? Oh, sure. Let's go with Liam Hendricks. Oh, Joe Kelly? Yeah. No. You say, fuck, we don't need Joe Kelly. That motherfucker's hurt. Let's get Joe and Connie Cueto in here. We can get him for $2 million. Let's do it. And then, like, that's what we need. That's what we need. Somebody that's telling them that shit. That's my only list, though.
I mean, she kicked ass. She was a great character. So I love that.
Plus, I mean,
Beef, I'm sure you've never watched Mad Men either. So like,
I've never seen Mad Men.
You would love Christina Hendricks like character.
Oh, I know who she is. I've seen her before. Yeah, no, that's yeah.
Of course you did.
Big 10-4. Mailman Jack says Mona from Who's the Boss. I'm not taking that bait right there. Okay, we're not talking Werther's original right now.
You guys,
my last three. I'll dump my list really quickly for you guys. I'm not going to give full explanations. You figure these fucking things out yourselves. First one is Peter Paul Galtieri, better known as Paulie Walnuts. From The Sopranos. He'd be one of my manager choices, no nonsense kind of guy. Next up is Dr. Miranda Bailey from Grey's Anatomy. If people watch Grey's Anatomy. I want to bring up Grey's Anatomy because I get shit on by that. And then the last one is Sam Malone from Cheers. Former player, too. He kind of checks the box on the former player. And he is a manager of some characters there, so good work. You know?
You're really going to the opposite ends of how much they're drinking with Sam Malone dried out. And Tony La Russa is still probably pretty juicy.
Absolutely.
The only thing that I would question is Sam Malone's decision making when he wanted to fuck Christy Alley so many times.
What? You're not a fan of Christy Alley?
A little much with Christy Alley there.
You don't like her?
She's good. I mean,
Diane Long over Christy Alley?
Yeah, I'll take Diane Long over Christy Alley. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I think I would. Right.
This is shocking.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Shocking turn of events.
Sorry.
Got all the way here. I think you're taking too much of your now information where you know she's insane. And
also big.
Yeah, it's
all right, fellas. It's time for some thank yous.
Baby.
So I'm gonna give out some thank yous. Beef, give me your thank yous.
I mean, I just want to thank all the people that came to San Diego. It was kind of a small trip, and meeting everyone and talking to them, and then just seeing old friends too. Like you mentioned in the opening, Treasy, meeting Francisco Barrios Burner, meeting hot dog guy Larry. Like the people that invited us to the rooftop party were there. The people from Bridgeporters, and they came up and they were giving hugs and kisses. And obviously, always great to see Scott Garcia and Willie P and some of the natives. I talked to a bunch of Tyler Voss. Like, man, we kind of met a lot of people or re-engaged with a lot of people out there in San Diego. It was really unexpected. I thought it was going to be a tiny trip, so it was cool to see all of you. And I hope that going forward, we occasionally do some of these one-offs where it's just like, okay, we're just going to hit the city. There's no big event. Anyone who's nearby, just come out and come hang. And that was a lot of fun.
And Beef, I'm going to pile on top of yours with my thank yous because they're similar. And I just want to thank everyone who bought me a drink while we were in San Diego because there was a lot of you, but it was mostly Willie P. And I just want to,
yes,
I just want to thank you guys. You didn't need to do that, but I did appreciate it quite a bit. And I just loved having the time to hang out with you guys. I was not going to be on that trip. It was a pretty last minute decision to go, okay, I'm going to jump on this. Me and Mr. Hand both were kind of like on the fence, and we looked and we said, okay, look, we have to work that Friday. We got to work that Monday, but the flights can work if we do this. And we just went on a whim and did it. And it was totally worth it. I'm glad we did. And I'm just so happy that we got to spend that time with you guys. MSS, who are your thank yous?
I mean, now you just made me like almost tear up because I wish I would have seen Willie P and I wish he would have bought me 15 drinks. But also the same deal. Like Aloha, Mr. Hand was telling me, I was like, dude, I don't know, like this. He's like, don't worry about it. Just go. Just get a ticket. Go. Let's go. And I was like, it would have been rough, but I missed it. I've been there before, but I still would have liked to have been there. And like, you know how much I like to relish in our success, and I love relishing in the 108 successes. So yeah,
But my thanks are going to go to all my friends over at the park on 35th and Shields. Now let's go with Mike, Kyle, Nick, Brooks, Aaron, who's now no longer there, Gareth, everybody down to our beer ladies, everybody. I thank you very much for making a place. I sent them texts, yesterday, and just like making a place that's a home for me and my children and my wife. Like just walking in there, we are treated with respect. We are treated as soon as we get in. Like
once you get in.
Yeah, once we get in. But
not when you're trying to leave.
No, definitely not when we're trying to leave. But no, like literally, I was talking with a friend who might play southpaw, and he was saying, I've watched your girls grow up for like the last 6 years, and another guy was like, I've known, little Sis Summer since there was no little socks, wait, I fucked that up. Little Miss Shortstop. I've known Little Miss Shortstop before there was little Sis Summer, so it's like, hey, this is more than just like, oh, we're going to go watch a game and drink some beers. There's a lot of like inner workings here. So I want to thank those guys because they've done a very good job. No, I'm not thanking you, Kier, K-Dog, Matt Ramsey, because first of all, my $20 bills that I give you, even though they don't accept cash at the park for the fucking split, are going to fund whatever project you got going on. It's fake. You sell only losers. I don't understand what's happening. So yeah, no, not going to thank you. But no, I want to thank everybody else that's not here that work at the park. Thank you very much.
Great.
It's just a fun. It's like a good getaway every other weekend. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks everyone. We'll talk to you soon. And thank you, Kier. Specifically you. Thank you.